How's it going, everybody? I'm Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are here with some more Adventures in Middle-earth, our D&D 5e campaign set in the world of Middle-earth, taking place between the years of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Yeah, we're in for a doozy. Well, I guess it's already been a doozy, but we have a lot going on with our players, with, just kind of forging new bonds, creating friendships, and finishing up an adventure. Yeah, but before we do anything, go into any further recap, let's go ahead and introduce our cast of characters, starting with Valinith.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dain, or Forge here at Fantasy Forge Studios. I play the character Valinith, son of Morbith. He is a Rivendell elf, and he is a scholar, meaning he is, I guess, well versed in the ways of healing. He's very curious to see as we move to Woodman Hall to see how the party gets along well, and excited for the adventure ahead.
Perfect. We have our second character, Theodric.
Hey everybody, I'm that Toby Australian. I play Theodric Grimborn. He is a young man of Rohan out gallivanting through the woods with his friends, I suppose. Um, yeah, he's just happy to not be dealing with spiders or racist elves anymore. So
True. Just the remnants of the racist elves. They're there.
the formerly radicalized elves are now
They were part of a cult.
alive.
They've just been reintroduced to society.
Yeah, there you
we're
go.
re-educating
Yeah, they were
elves.
brainwashed into believing that they were the greatest race ever. Happens to everyone.
I guess, yeah.
Next, we have our new character, Jess.
Yes. Jessamine Sackville Baggins, to be precise. Hello, I am Spider. I play the aforementioned Jess. I'm having a great time. Other people, not so much. She is a crystal girly. She is very short. She is very young. What else do we know about her? There are some theories going round. And that is all I will say.
There's talk at the Easterly Inn about what she's actually about. And then finally, we have our last character, Feanor.
Hey guys, I'm Nick, or Lava Crest in the chat. I play Feanor, the Mirkwood Slayer. You know what? He's feeling kind of nostalgic. Guys, why don't we just go back to Thranduil's halls and just have a quick stroll through them? It's like that's what we should spend our fellowship phase doing.
We got to
see
introduce
Daddy.
Jess to the forest.
Oh yeah. Oh
That'd be
hey, do you
great.
want to go see the grave of our former companion? But no.
No, that sounds super depressing, actually.
Yeah. But no. Yeah, we're going to be continuing on our adventure, and Feanor hopes that everything ends okay in the end for everyone.
Yeah.
Especially, even their new elven friends / their captives.
Exactly. We are making our way into a fellowship phase as well. So for those who don't know the rules of Adventures in Middle-earth, one of the big things is the different phases of the game, specifically the difference between adventure and fellowship phase. In D&D, there's typically a long rest is your full 8 hours of sleep, and you can heal everything up, where it's just like short rests are literally that, short rests. In Adventures in Middle-earth, your short rests are your long sleeps during your adventure. The only way that you can get long rests are during fellowship phases, or if you spend a night of rest inside an unlocked sanctuary. And so yeah, they're kind of far and few in between to be able to get. And so being able to heal everything up, including all of the abilities going into a fellowship phase, is really good. And actually, at the end of this adventure, it's not quite over yet. Our characters will be leveling up, finally moving their way up from level 2 to level 3, hopefully making them a little bit chunkier, to take more of a beating, which is... Yeah, I mean, we kind of know. We rolled ahead of
Not
time.
me.
But...
I am not strong.
But without further ado, a little bit of some recap. So, it's been a party. Last session was essentially that, a party. The party was reunited all together. Feanor and the group, the remainder of the Wayward Elves, were able to track down the wagon, Baldur and Belgo's wagon, that the rest of the group had escaped Savage Taller on, to the Easterly Inn. Upon the arrival, not only had the party been reunited, but they got to know a little bit more about Jessamine Sackville Baggins, the hobbit that is currently in residence at the Easterly Inn, run by Baldur. Baldur, who is the actual curator of the Easterly Inn, a hobbit.
Dodie.
Well, did I say Baldur? Oh, sorry, Dodie.
You said Baldur.
Yeah, not Baldur. Baldur's the merchant that they're protecting. But yes, Dodie. Dodie Brandybuck, along with his wife Agatha and family, including Dindy, who is the traveling merchant as well. Yeah, it was a lot of re-getting acquainted with things, showing off crazy acting dogs, figuring out if healing really works, really figuring out to see if lemon treats hand wounds, and long story short, making their way down to a final feast where it was not only revealed that Dodie is trying to push off Jess on the party. Maybe not push off, but trying to encourage them to invite her to the party. But also plans were made to send basically Corinthiel and the rest of the elves, wayward elves, westward with Dindy as he departs in 3 days' time, in order to make his last trip of the year back to the Shire to get the remainder of the supplies that they need for the year. And with that, we're going to go ahead and bring everyone right back to the next morning. And so in the Easterly Inn, it is another beautiful spring morning. You can actually hear not the first time for some of you, but for Feanor, Feanor, the very first time in a very long time, the rooster crow has woken everybody here at the Easterly Inn. The tavern already is a bustle. Yes, go ahead.
Is anyone woken up by Shadrach, or is it just the crow?
The rooster crows, but no, Shadrach comes and checks on everyone. And he actually learned after the first night who are the early risers and who are not. So he learns to kind of decide which rooms to go to first in which order. To which he does so very skillfully. Of course, he makes his way over to Jess's room first with the expected kind of pre-breakfast snack and meal. What Jess has been acquainted to during her stay at the Easterly Inn. Shadrach knows. He's a smart dog. Next, he actually makes his way over to Valinith's room, where he is able to wake up quite early, and very soon, actually after that, he goes over to Feanor, Corinthiel. As they are elves, they don't require really the sleep that is necessary. Then going to Theodric's room, finally going to Baldur's and Belgo, and then what was it? Oh gosh, I have his name written down somewhere. Kalar, haha, yeah,
I knew it
Kalar
was something like that.
as well. Yeah, Kalar.
I love that. I love that we just gave a name to this random NPC.
You did though.
I know.
had nothing to
So
do with
a little bit of some behind the scenes shenanigans for those who don't know. Literally in the book, he's just called the Hermit. So
Cool.
they don't actually give him a name in Adventures in Middle-earth. So he's now Kalar, light in Elvish and Sindarin speak. So that's pretty cool. But it is because of this name and everything that he's able to kind of find some sort of semblance of himself as well. So that's something that's really neat. But at the beginning of this session, essentially before your departure, is wrapping a few things up here at the Easterly Inn, as the plans are for the party to make their way to Woodland Hall, to where they are going to end their adventure, finishing their duties of protecting Baldur and Belgo's caravan, to where at that point a fellowship phase will begin. But it is the next morning. Time is of the essence. Everybody wakes up. We're going to go ahead and start with Jess. Jess, how are you starting your day?
Okay, so probably go, you know how most of her days go this time. She wakes up, she has a little, first breakfast is what we're calling it. And then she'll, gather up all her things and go to the meadow. And yeah, she'll just spend some time like outside in nature, just like staring up at the trees and sort of doing a little bit of meditation and reflection on everything that's happened. And then I think she's going to go inside and check on Cranthiel.
Perfect. At this point, Cranthiel is up along with the Valineth. Feanor has not actually made his way downstairs yet, but Cranthiel is eating a rather small first breakfast, but Valineth is sitting beside her as the two of them chat about who knows what. So we're going to go ahead and bring it over to you lot.
Ah, good morning to the two of you.
Oh,
Good
good morning.
morning.
Yeah. How did you sleep, Jessamine?
Oh, well, as always. And yourself?
Oh, I was laying there and with my eyes closed, but it wasn't very restful. My hand kept throbbing, and he looks at his hand. But otherwise, it was okay.
I
Anyway.
might have something for that.
Oh, no. I'm fine. I'm 100% healed. Thank you about that. That was very kind of you, Jessamine. Thank you. I'm just being a baby. And he'll wrap. Yes.
There is no need for that. I'm sure you're very brave.
Oh, why, thank you. I like to think so, but maybe not now. And he hides his hand. How is it, by the way? Is it gross?
Make a medicine check for me, Valineth.
Oh, it's funny.
Is it gooey?
Is it gooey and just nastiness? Alright, give you a second. Okay.
I mean, it's clean.
True, yeah, I will say. But so I take it a while to load. Come on, D&D, you got this. Alright. Medicine, you said?
Yes, medicine check.
This is
15.
delightful.
15. You take a look at it, and actually, it is healing. It definitely is better than the day before. But you are used to since you were quite young, you're used to pretty immediate pain relief, and the basically wounds healing up. You've literally studied under Elrond and your mother, and you've seen like them very skillfully heal wounds. And maybe it's just the fact that you're not used to wounds healing naturally, and it's all you can do to keep from trying to patch this thing up yourself.
Yeah, it's for the science. Don't worry. I'm still looking at the effects of it.
Well, Valinith, in cases such as this, the bravest thing you can do is ask for help.
I would have to agree, usually.
May I
What would
see
you
it?
do for this? What would you do to help this along?
If you're experiencing pain, I think I have some willow bark.
Are you gonna shove that in my wound?
No, you eat it.
Eat it? Oh my goodness. I don't know if I've ever eaten the bark of a tree before. I'm actually curious about the taste. And Valineth kind of goes into like science mode, and he's just like, well, we'll see if this does the trick. Do you have willow bark, Jessamine?
I'm sure I do. Can I see?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take a look at his hand, like, very gently, unwrap it. I should go, oh, that's healing faster than I expected. That's good.
Wait, faster? I would argue this is pretty slow. I'm surprised it hasn't completely healed at this point.
That seems odd. Well, it seems to be going along quite nicely.
Valineth turns to Corinthial and gives her a look.
Actually,
And it turns back to Jessamine.
Actually, Valineth, if this is prepared correctly, I think this might help.
Oh. Well, we got 2 doctors' opinions. I'm willing to try.
I would hardly call myself that. I'm still young, after all. Right. Yeah, I go off and find him some willow bark to chew to help alleviate the pain.
And as you do so, Caranthiel, she basically has been talking Valneth's ear off over just everything that's going on, but more specifically inquiring on questions of what to expect in Rivendell. You can tell that she's doing all that she can to prepare herself to be the most gracious guest that she possibly can be. Some of which questions are the decorum of speaking with the people, if you're able to actually directly address Lord Elrond. But additionally, on top of that, like where's okay to go, where's private, all that kind of stuff. She's just trying to kind of get her bearings before she actually goes while she has you as a resource.
Yeah, and Valneth will do his best to give her all that advice. But ultimately, Caranthiel, if you just act like you do around me, you'll be more than fine. Just make sure your elven compatriots act the same way.
Between us, Valneth, you are quite a skilled healer, and I've yet to see, well, high elf healing skills, but if the rumors of what are told are true, and Lord Elrond and his healing techniques, I only shudder at what he'll think of me and my backcountry methods.
Oh, nonsense. I saw you were healing out on the road. In fact, you may be able to teach Lord Elrond a thing or two. Of course, I don't know how often he's made his way this far out east, but I'm sure he'd be more than keen to listen to whatever you have to tell him and whatever you have to show him as well.
Make a persuasion check for me.
All right. I don't know how persuasive I am. I'm not persuasive at all, but you know. Oh no! It was teetering on a 15. That's a 5.
5 total?
That's a 5. Yeah.
Okay. She kind of like nods at what you're saying, but she looks a little bit downcast at her food. She has some tea in front of her and says, I don't know. I was born and raised in Mirkwood. I've never met elf lords in fancy, elegant elven halls. I just don't know. And she is a little bit apprehensive about
Yeah.
her whole
And
trip.
Valneth does his best to try to console her and pump her up, making sure she's fine. At least according to, based off of what Valneth knows about her, she'll be good. He's a little more worried about her friends, is all. So that's it.
And as the tail end of this conversation happens, Feanor does eventually come down. You come down with actually Belgo. You don't see Baldur, but Belgo has kind of been waiting to ask you all kinds of questions about what you had gone through, about the battle against Savage Taller. That spider was so big, Feanor. Oh my goodness, how did you beat it? You said there was fire. I heard something about fire.
This night that Feanor has spent like inside in this tavern, he's actually had a restless kind of night. He hasn't been able to focus on like that almost like calming like recollection. It's the last few days and having been going constantly have finally started to catch up to him, so he's a little bit lackluster in his energy as much as he was having such a good time at the party last night. So Belgo is just like going off, and every now and then Feanor's given like it was a big spider. Yeah, no, it was pretty interesting.
But Feanor,
yeah, that was.
You said you defeated it all by yourself, and he just keeps going on and on with this.
Yeah, I lit a giant fire and burned it.
My dad told me not to play with fire. He says it's very dangerous. You know, it was dragon fire that burnt down my city, and he goes, just continuously on and on.
Yeah. And Feanor's just like not even really looking at him like, well, that's cool. Kind of almost like deep in thought. He's like in thought, but like not super present in the conversation that's kind of happening.
And as you're doing so, you kind of space out for a little bit as you continue to reflect, and you find yourself standing before the bar, and you hear, "Dear, what would it be?" Oh, and like there's like a small hobbit like trying to like get your attention. Breakfast is served. We have a number of things. Today we actually have turkey bacon. It's something that's quite rare. We were actually well, Shadrach brought it today. It was quite interesting indeed, but I've learned to cook it, I think. And you're speaking with Agatha, by the way, as she presents
It's quite
you
a
with the option.
It's quite a tough bit of fowl. Do you cook it slowly? Perhaps maybe with some butter instead of lard.
Depends. How do you want it cooked, my love?
Perhaps no, just whatever. Just cook it however. I'll be sitting outside.
Will
yeah,
do.
and Feanor, like, you know, for his breakfast and heads outside to go sit like in the morning sun. And he's sitting leaned back in a chair with his eyes closed, with like just the sun fully on his face. Even if he has to lay down, just like, no, you know what? He's laying about 10 feet away from the door, just on his back on the grass.
Valinith and Jess, I'm gonna have both of you make perception checks for me.
Oh, thank you. Come on, be good.
I bet he's beset by woe. I bet it is. Alright.
Perception sucks though. No, I got a 10.
That's not too bad.
Okay, Valinith is real good at those. 15.
Yeah, Valinith, one thing that really is odd is Feanor's mood his whole demeanor has completely changed from the night before, and you see him actually walk by you without as much as picking up any food, not even acknowledging you or Caranthiel as he makes his way outside. You can look out the window that you find that he just has found a spot, slowly laying down in the grass, and just, yeah, he looks heavy in contemplation for that. Jess, as you hear the door open as you're off a little ways in the wooded areas. I'm not saying woods, but wooded area. In order to find your bark, and you turn around and you see Feanor actually laying on the ground a good distance from you. I'm gonna leave the option up to the two of you to do what you will with that. Just let me know.
Feanor's just laying down, so if you want to approach him, you gotta.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
Yeah, I'll approach.
All right.
Sort of semi-cautiously.
First and foremost, I'm gonna have you make an investigation check for me to help find what you're looking for.
Okay, perfect.
What are you looking
I'm not good at this.
I'm sure if she rolls well, we'll find out.
9.
9. You look around, but you've actually used this treatment a good deal, and you're really doing your best to make this bark like not use up basically the stores of what they have. But something that Dodie actually keeps asking you over and over again for. He always every day he seems to be coming along some kind of a small wound. He's like, it does the job at helping alleviate the pain, you know. And so he is asking you, and so you're like trying your best to like conserve like what bark there is. But
is Jess a drug dealer? Oh no!
And Dodie is number one customer.
Yeah, he's addicted to them painkillers. So that's what your
Can
class
you get
is.
addicted to aspirin?
Yeah, it's a painkiller.
I think heavy doses,
technically.
probably.
Yeah.
That
I think it is
fortunately,
life-saving
with
bark.
the way that willow bark works, it's got very small doses, so it does small relief in the pain. It's not quite as concentrated, hence kind of hinting at what Caranthiel said before.
Hey,
If prepared
some
correctly, it'll-
flowers like
Yeah.
the poppies. There's something about opioids. No, anyway.
Don't get me started on poppy seeds.
Yeah.
Jess, you have not found exactly what you are looking for, but you do see that there is a new person out that perhaps you would like to go chat with.
Okay.
Continue your conversation from the night before, I guess, or new conversation.
I'll be honest, I forget what our conversation was the night before. So...
It's kind of more just getting
Honestly-
acquainted with the elves and like cooking, a lot of cooking techniques.
Yeah, a lot of... Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll go. approach, see how he's looking. Does he look like hurt at all, or is he just?
Do you look hurt at all, Feanor? I don't think so.
No.
What?
He probably has a very slight bruise on his cheek from where Theodric like just decked him in the face yesterday. But other than that, it's like he's just like laying there. His brows are like slightly furrowed. But his like arms are he's just like full starfished out on the grass. And like he's just not moving at all. He hasn't like made any attempt to move since you like approached or anything. Like he definitely would have heard you walking up, but he's just like he's not even moving. He's just laying on the grass.
Okay. Are you alright, Fennel?
Hmm?
Hey. Are you well?
Yeah. I'm enjoying the breeze and the sun.
These are things to be enjoyed.
That's why I'm doing it. Good. Yep.
Alright. She will move off. Go back to the inn to Valineth.
As this is going on, Valineth actually does want to look over to Corinthiel and says, "Well, that wasn't normal, Feanor. I wonder if he's doing all right." And he's gonna ponder to himself. And he's gonna be like, "Maybe you should go talk to him at some point." To Corinthiel.
She kind of sighs and looks at you. You can hint a bit of worry on her face. We've been so on the go lately that I don't really know what is normal for Feanor these days.
Well, that's not it. Anna says bluntly.
He's been very focused. I don't know if he's trying to relax or if he's thinking about what we had experienced. I wouldn't blame him. We've all experienced our fair share of grief, but the party, all of you, not only had you lost your friend, but we encountered horrible things. I wouldn't blame anybody for not being able to get any kind of rest. Being in the Mirkwood, but being out here, the one thing I will say is that at least out here there's sunshine. There's warmth. And I don't know. I find that basking in the sun helps me to recollect everything. But I can't do it for too long. My skin's far too fair. And she chuckles to herself.
Well, I did hear something about something called, how did Elrond put it? Vitamin D? I think is what it is. Well, I hear you get it from sunlight. And speaking of which, Valineth turns to the tables and grabs some of the nuts that are there in the bowls. And just like, speaking of which, I'll take some of these nuts. And he starts munching on all of them.
I'm sorry, what was that? Were you speaking? I only know Sindarin and common.
Oh, don't worry. I have been practicing.
Was Feanor within earshot, being so close to the?
It's gonna be you're outside, and so the door is closed. I'm gonna say you can make a perception check, but it's gonna be at disadvantage.
That's fine.
That's real good.
15.
15.
Still
Yeah,
roll good.
you heard it.
You hear outside?
Maybe it doesn't sound like Feanor's doing so well. I think you should go and talk to him, Corinthiel. And he's just munching on some peanuts and cashews and whatnot. It's good.
It's good. In time, Valineth. I'm not sure when you plan to depart, but I'm here for a few more days at least. And we all deserve a little bit of respite. Feanor, he might need to deal with it in his own way. But for now, let's get your hand checked out. And she kind of scooches on over closer and like takes a look at your hand, and she's like, this is healing. And she begins talking. I wonder how Jess is doing with that willow bark. And she begins actually talking you.
At which
through
point I
Valor.
poke my head in.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
she begins slowly talking to you about like, in highly concentrated doses, and that's right when Jess pops her head in.
Hi. Couldn't find any willow bark. I think something's going on with your friend. Caranthiel, would you mind looking after Valinith for just a few minutes? I don't know how long I'll be, but I will be back. Would you mind?
We will be here, happily
Thank
awaiting your return.
Just eating some nuts here. Would you like some, Jess? And hands over some nuts to her.
Oh, no, thank you. These are Dee's nuts, not
Oh.
mine.
Oh, ho, ho, I see. A woman of fine taste in jokes. All right.
Jess, I'm actually I'm gonna have you make a just a knowledge check. Not knowledge, a mind. Not mind. Gosh, goodness gracious, I forget D&D stats.
Intelligence?
Intelligence. Just a straight intelligence check for me.
Oh my god, I'm so bad at those. Oh,
Okay.
I got a 14.
14. One thing that you've realized is these nuts that he is eating are quite rare, actually. You have no idea why they've been placed out on the table, or if it is a mistake, or by Dodie, but these are actually all the way from Buckland, where they're especially known for the growing of their legumes and nuts and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of take a note at that, like, must be some kind of celebration or something, because usually Agatha keeps these under lock and key.
Okay.
So, just
That's
something
good
to
to
note.
know. Yes, as much as I am somewhat privileged guest here, I would not like to impose my hospitality that far as to eat these particular nuts.
Well, they're quite delicious. I'm sure they'll be here if you want some.
One hopes so. They have quite the reputation.
Well, they are quite delicious. I haven't had nuts quite like these in my life. But I'll tell ya, these nuts are pretty good.
Okay, I have to leave, otherwise
Corinthial, she
I
just kind
can't
of looks
stay in
back and
character
forth.
and be part of this conversation. You pick one.
Corinthial just kind of looks back and forth at you with like a little bit of confused. I don't understand what's so special about them. They're quite salty for my taste, and she.
Stop engaging, Kyle.
Sorry.
I rolled a 10 on perception. You
I'm
hear it?
ruining our fun job.
I rolled a 10 on
They're salty
perception.
because they're ripe. They've been out for a while.
At least I didn't ask anyone how many you can fit in your.
So you got a 10 on
Feanor
perception.
Feanor is
Oh,
rolling
man, I
away
get it.
from the
Okay.
building. Like, he's just, like, not even standing up. He's just started rolling away, like, slightly down a hill to get a bit further away from the conversation.
You have to take into account though. So Corinthial, she is completely oblivious to everything that's going on. She's not.
Oh, it was Valineth entirely.
Okay.
And Valinith is gonna take some of the nuts and just put them in his pocket for later. Kind of like how Napoleon Dynamite like puts tater tots in his pocket for later. That's what Valinith's gonna do with these nuts. So
Why not?
perfect. It's gonna be good.
All right, so you do so. You successfully pocket your nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and with that,
I'm
Jess.
gonna go back out into the field, close to Feanor, like maybe like a meter away or so.
Mhm.
Just gonna sit in the field and I'm gonna light up my pipe. Which, yeah, it doesn't smell like ordinary tobacco. There's like it's very floral scent. Like it reminds you of like a garden at the height of summer, and like there's some scents of like roses and
And like
stuff
lavender
like that.
and that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah, roses and strawberries and yeah.
Feanor, you absolutely take notice of this. Just FYI.
Mm.
Mm.
That
Feanor
hobbit
doesn't.
weed.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't react. Feanor is just still laying there, just unresponsively. But his brow isn't as furrowed as it was before. His face does seem to actually be relaxed now, just like laying in the sun.
That's good.
Yeah. I am going to. I'm not going to interfere with Feanor,
Mhm.
unless I'm afraid that he's going to get sunburn.
Absolutely.
So.
He's just watching out. I like it. I like it. He's definitely quite a bit more tanned compared to
not
the other
necessarily watching Feanor, but just like keeping an eye and like taking in the surroundings and appreciating.
His freckles are like starting to like really stand out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not common for elves as young as you. So, for sure. You spent a good amount of time out in the wilderness, and
Not under the canopy of the woods.
right,
So-
exactly. Very much compared to Caranthiel, like she almost has like pearly white skin. It's interesting. You've seen a fair number of elves, but you can tell she has not left the Mirkwood in at least 5 years since you've seen her. So, and with that, we make our way over to Theodric. And so, Theodric, you take some time. You take a little bit of time getting settled the night before and ready for bed. Kind of this big burden of relief has fallen from your chest as you begin to kind of think about the previous events that had occurred. You're able to settle down for the night and go to sleep, and for the most of the night, it's pretty dreamless. However, the one thing that you do continuously hear, kind of ringing a little bit in that back of your mind, is not so much a voice as more of a resonance. I'm going to have you make a perception check for me. Or insight. I'm going to have you could either make an insight too.
Perception check is an 18.
18. Okay. This is very actually akin to what you heard in the Elven halls of the Woodland Realm. This kind of resonance that was falling off of what was her name?
I should have it somewhere. Give me a moment. I think it was Idril? No. Here we go. Just opening up my page. Pardon me.
That's okay. I'm doing the same. This is really
Irame. Lady Irame.
Lady Irame. So very actually similar to what you felt with Lady Irame. You never actually laid eyes on her, but it's something that is hauntingly peaceful about the kind of the whole situation, and you're able to fall into this very deep sleep as this resonance almost encourages you to go to sleep. I'm gonna have you make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Hang on. Wisdom saving. Say 13. But okay, 14.
14. In your dream, the darkness begins to lighten a bit. You don't see any figures in front of you, but you find yourself in a very familiar pasture. It is a field of gold. Wheat has made its way up to your waist. You don't have Baradarok with you, and you look out amongst a beautiful blue sky. Everything around seems to be at peace. The sounds of nature ring, but this resonance continues to prod and poke at the back of your mind.
Can I? Is it just coming from anywhere in particular, or is it just kind of all around me?
It is coming from somewhere in particular. As you look out amongst the lands in front of you, you recognize immediately that you are standing in the plains of Rohan. This is actually very close to where you grew up, a little bit further south than where you previously were before departing. But you see in front of you a very familiar sight. Snow-capped mountains. You know these as the White Mountains. And this is what divides, the barrier that divides Rohan from the realms of Gondor. Over these mountains, you hear this resonance. It kind of carries on the wind and down and over. I'm going to have you make a perception check for me.
19.
19. Very acutely aware of your surroundings, you're immediately brought to the attention of the sound of distant hooves galloping. This is a very familiar sound, but at the same time, it seems practiced. Like this is a very skilled rider. You wait a moment or two, and you can see out on the distance the galloping of a sterling white horse. It is beautiful, unlike any you've ever seen. You see a figure, and he is clothed from head to toe in gray. As he gallops alongside, the sound is coming from this individual, but in particular, what is on his hip. You take a closer look. You narrow your gaze. You're unable to see the face of this individual, but something continuously nags the back of your mind. I'm gonna have you make a history check for me.
That's a 10.
Still good. You recall something that Jalen had been speaking of. The Grey Pilgrim. She claims that she had seen him. She was out on a journey to seek him. Could this be him that is riding off in the distance towards you? But again, your eyes are drawn away from any kind of defining features except for what is at his hip. A sheathed sword. There's a ringing. It's almost calling you. This almost star-like radiance begins to flash from it. And as he grows closer and closer and closer, the horse and the gray figure almost begin to disappear as you see this sword become unsheathed, and it sheds everything in a brilliant white light. You bask in it. It feels good. If anything, it feels almost too good. Any experience of anger from the losses that you had encountered all but fade away, and you're overcome with strength. Not fearful strength, not angering strength, but as if what you can do at this current moment, with this feeling, you can slay any foe. You are the foe hammer. You wake up from your dream. You feel the morning is bright, and you, for a second, almost long for the golden fields of home, but then you're quickly taken to see this face standing over you. Hot breath. As Shadrach along with Rufus standing beside him, still on 4 legs, but Shadrach is on 2 legs, and he goes, "Roo, roo, 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 roo," and he sets down a tray of hot water and honey on the table before leaving. "Roo, roo, roo," and he gets back on basically 4 legs and leaves. This feeling like still stays with you. It's quite interesting. The words that are brought to your mind, "I am the foe hammer," resound in your conscience. It's odd because all of your dreams of strength and dreams of power in the past have been dark and brooding. This one seems to be almost untouchable, immaculate, as if it's something to strive for. You wake up in a pretty good mood.
Nice. As Theodric watches Shadrach leave, he's just like, okay, I'm not gonna let anything ruin my mood. That's... and he's going to just kind of... Was the water in like a bowl, or...?
The water is in a glass, but then there's also a bowl as well.
Nice. Well, Theodric's just going to just drink the water and just kind of get up and like get himself ready, just make sure he's presentable a bit.
Mhm.
And does this room have a mirror of any sort?
Unfortunately, no. So some of the rooms do have mirrors. The main kind of dining area behind the bar, there's actually kind of like this mirror that's below the shelves that kind of almost expands the room a little bit. So there's a mirror down there, and from what you've heard, there's mirrors in the Hobbit rooms, but not in any of these rooms that are upstairs.
Okay. Theodric is going to like drink his water, and he's just going to kind of straighten his clothes out and everything, and then he is going to sit down carefully on the edge of the bed, and from a pouch at his hip, he is going to unfurl the lock of hair he took from Jalen and carefully braid that into the braid he has at the front of his hair, like on his bangs, and just carefully weave that into his already existing braid.
Perfect. You take your time doing this, almost savoring each moment as each lock of hair becomes intertwined with yours. It's something that is deeply meaningful in the good mood that you're already in. Perhaps an act of sorrow becomes an act of hope. You do so, you think, to the point where you think it looks good. It's a stark difference between your blonde hair compared to her very dark hair. And so it's definitely a fashion statement, that's for sure. But you think it's about good before you're ready to depart for the day.
And Theodric, with that, is going to stand, brush himself off, and head downstairs. He is a hungry boy.
Yes, you do so, and pretty much everybody is down there. Not Baldur and not Kalar, however. But at this point, sitting next to Cranthiel and Valinith, Belgo has taken his seat, and he is slowly enjoying his breakfast. The door is cracked open slightly, but you don't see Feanor, but you can see that Valinith is gazing out the window at something. I'm going to have you make an insight check for me.
That is a 12.
You're not quite sure exactly what he's looking at, but based on of his focus, it's most likely someone who's familiar, probably Feanor.
Theodric's just gonna wander over to the table and, good morning, everyone.
Aha, Theodric! Good morning, my good sir. Did you sleep well?
Yes, I
Theodric!
slept quite well.
What happened to your hair? And Belgo stands up and like walks over and is just like looking at it. I've heard of people going gray, but I've never heard of someone going black.
Don't worry, Belgo. It's
Can I touch it?
yes, but be careful. It's not my hair. I mean, it's mostly my hair.
He looks at you just like shocked.
Can Valnith make a perception check?
Yeah, make a perception
About it.
check. And he reaches up, just, oh, it doesn't feel like your hair. It's
It's a 22.
softer. Oh yeah, you know exactly what it is.
It's much better taken care for than my hair is, I suppose.
I don't know.
Valnith smiles at Belgo and he says, Belgo, do you remember your necklace that you have?
Yeah, I have it right here with me at all times.
I have a feeling that's something very, very similar, my friend. And just smiles at him and continues to eat his nuts that are in front of him.
Could there be magic
want
in
some-
hair?
I think there's a little bit of magic in whatever we give meaning to.
He furrows his brow as he like contemplates that. Oh. Well, there's a
Don't
lot
worry
of
about it.
meaning behind this food. It's delicious. It's magical. It fills my belly.
Yeah, I suppose food can be magical.
Mrs. Agatha, Theodric is ready for first breakfast. I learned hobbits eat multiple breakfasts. Breakfasts. This is first breakfast. I'm glad that you didn't miss the first one.
Yes, I got my wake up call.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I really like Shadrach. He's a really good boy. If only Rufus could learn a thing or two, I think it would be.
oh,
He's a good boy, too.
I like Rufus quite the way he is.
I do too, but he's stinky.
Yes. I mean, yes, but we can fix that. That can be fixed.
Yeah.
Valineth, what seems to have your attention outside?
I don't know. Theodric came down not too long ago. He doesn't seem
Feanor.
himself. Sorry. Feanor doesn't seem himself. And he looks out the window again and sees that he's still like laying there with Jess sitting there smoking her pipe close by. I think Jess was talking to him, but I don't know. Maybe you can go cheer him up a bit. It seems like you're in a good mood this morning.
I mean, yes. What's to be why wouldn't we be in a good mood? We're pretty much out of the Mirkwood. We're back on our feet. We've got new friends, and things are looking up.
Valens smiles to himself and just gives him a good old slap on the shoulder. You really round out this party, don't you, buddy? Glad to have you back. and gestures towards Feanor, and Valnith continues to go into conversation with Corinthiol and Belgo, kind of trying to explain the magic and that kind of stuff. So,
Make your way outside. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, so after like a while of just like sitting, Jess will say, so do you want to talk about it, or would you rather we sit?
Talk about what? I am laying in the sun.
Just make
sitting
an
there.
insight check for me.
Bad at those though. Yeah, that's not terrible. 14.
14. Yeah, that's not completely true.
Hey, it is technically true.
Yes, there's more to it than that. But take
Yeah.
do with that information what you will.
Yes. Do you ever think about the overwhelming weight and of the shadow of the strength of death?
All the time.
Do you ever think about how impossibly huge that concept is?
She'll take a couple of puffs.
Like, I know what happens when I die, but like the shadow, like, you know, that's like death for everything.
Hmm. You don't know this about me, Phainal, but I lost my grandmother about 6 years ago. She was one of my favorite people, and she was very important to me.
He opens his eyes and he looks at you and says, "I'm sorry for your loss. Losing someone you love can be difficult." And then he closes his eyes again.
I can. But it's what makes us. It's what makes our lives matter.
What is it that you want to do in the world, Jess? What is your mark that you want to leave in this place?
Um,
On this Middle Earth. Ever-changing, ancient.
Well, I'm on a quest of sorts to find treasure.
Nice.
It sounds silly when I say it out loud, but
What kind of treasure?
treasure of a monetary value.
Cool.
Preferably.
I heard there was some hobbit that went with some dwarves and killed a dragon for that, and that was seen as noble, so you wouldn't be the first hobbit to try and go off and do something for money. Like,
Yes.
it's not, shouldn't feel any shame in that.
I'm not Bilbo, and I'll
I
never be Bilbo.
I still don't know who that is. Oh, okay, so I'm assuming from context that is the hobbit I was talking about.
Yes.
Seymour, I think I've heard the tavern bring up that name a fair bit. What's the beef between you and him?
We're cousins.
Oh, and you don't particularly get along?
Truthfully, I don't know him very well. He's got too much of his mother in him. That's what my parents say. I don't know why he couldn't just be content in the Shire. Or if he couldn't do at least that, I don't know why he couldn't just stay wherever he left to. It's clear he doesn't like being in the Shire and he can't stand his family, so I don't understand why.
Why did you leave the Shire? You said you're looking for something of monetary value, some treasure. There are plenty of ways to make money. But you
No,
chose the path less traveled.
It was not my choice.
Oh.
It was my choice, but after Bilbo came back, everything in my family changed. We were happy. And then he had to go and have a great big adventure and ruin everything, and then he ruined it. He ruined everything. He came back with all his wealth and all his gold and all his friends, and for what? It felt like he turned his back on us.
No. I understand. Like, I could tell that that's hurt you. He turned his back on his family. I can't help but feel a level of kinship with that. Look at me. I don't really fit in with kindred. I went off seeking adventure. out into the world. Circumstances drove me to. But why let yourself be defined by what someone else in your family has done? Go find your adventure. Go have your own. Live your life to the fullest. Pretend you are any other hobbit. With no blood ties, out in this world. Just go and do what you want to do.
You misunderstand the purpose of my mission. All I want is to make as much money as possible so I can take it back to the Shire. So I can give it to my parents, and then maybe that'll fix it. Maybe then they'll be happy. Maybe then the
So it's
house
not.
won't seem quite so broken.
Feanor does he sits up, eyes open, and he's like, "Well, Jess, you have any idea what this treasure is? If it can, like you said, I don't know enough about you, but I'm enjoying our conversation. Say that your family is broken. I also have a tenuous relationship with members of my family, but we make it work. How can I help you? How can I help you overcome this darkness? This thing that shadows you, I suppose.
Well, if you know of any treasure hoards lying around, that would be very helpful.
You try going to Lake Town and getting gold from the dead dragon.
I think the dwarves have that on lock.
Yeah, maybe.
Lawmaster,
Yes.
may I use my treasure lore feat?
Okay.
For Woodman Town?
Woodland. So Woodland Hall
Woodland
or
Town.
Woodman Town.
Yeah.
So the end of the journey is a Woodland Hall. So.
Woodland Hall.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. How does this work? Oh, you may ask the Lawmaster for 3 pieces of information regarding the locale. Yeah, so any particular treasures that I'm aware
So,
of?
from what you've heard, what you've gathered, spending actually time here in the Easterly Inn, you've done your fair share of poking around, not just with the Beornings that are there, but with the number of basically people that have come from Woodland Hall, Woodman Town, the Woodmen, that have peeked their heads in as well and have served as patrons. Trying to gather any kind of information that you can about Woodman Hall. There is no, like, for example, giant treasury that they would have, as they don't have a leader of the town. So essentially, Woodman Hall is, every leader is elected, and each of the Woodman settlements have this kind of leader that only functions as a leader role when they need a leader. But his name is Ingolmer. And so he is the current leader there, and actually rumor has it that he is the main leader of all of the basically Woodman settlements, which includes Mountain Hall, Woodland Town, the Black Tarn, or Woodman Town, the Black Tarn, and Roscabel. And so whenever there is a big meeting or anything like that, he's the one that always has word. So while they don't have a wealth of treasures per se that's there, there's a lot of power that resides in Woodman Town, which means it potentially attracts people with wealth. potentially attracts, as they are relatively welcoming to outsiders as well. I would say probably the last piece of information that you could get from there is it depends on the season, it depends on the day. There might be a huge store of wealth of there, or there might be nothing at all. It's kind of high stakes hit or miss.
Yeah.
As far as treasure goes, that's kind of what you're looking at.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's time to move on from here, though. I've been here long enough, and I'm never going to reach my goal if I just pace in my own footsteps.
I suppose that is true. If one is going to achieve their goal, they must continue to push onwards and develop it and continue on their way. Staying still will only stagnation. The goal will be nothing. He's kind of like zoning out. He's like saying that he's like not looking at anything. Yes, you're correct. Perhaps it's time for you to move on from here. I've heard that you've been spending quite a bit of time here, and well, if you want to be a treasure hunter, you can't stay in an inn. Perhaps if I ever make it back to Dale, I can give a word to a collector of antiques that I know. Perhaps he would have use of your services.
And what about you, Fanel? What's your goal?
It sounds overwhelming. In some ways it is, but I am traveling this Middle Earth to find a way to defeat the Shadow for good. We build
Do
up
I know Sorry. Keep going.
That's fine. Ask. It's good for.
I was just gonna ask if Jess knows what the shadow is.
Make a shadow lore check for me.
Oh, here we go. Where is that?
It's gonna be at the very
should be
bottom.
very
I think
bottom.
it's the last one.
Yeah.
I have survival at the very bottom.
Oh,
That's an
wow.
intelligence check.
It's
Yeah, just
oh,
straight up
I
intelligence.
I
I might
forgot
have
to-
to add some stuff to you. To your character sheet.
I rolled a 2 minus 1.
The furthest thing you've heard of Shadow is basically what follows behind you when you're moving at certain times of the day. Coming from literally coming from the Shire, everything is hunky dory. Opposed from
Yep.
family dramas and everything, you're just like, I don't know what Shadow is, but
no troubles.
yeah, this thing, the Shadow keeps getting brought up, and maybe in your mind you look at it as like he's literally just afraid of his shadow, like you have no idea. So.
I'm like that meme, like, I don't know what the shadow is, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But yeah, no, Fane was saying like,
yeah.
to defeat the shadow for good, to make these lands safe, but it's just seemingly such an impossible task. What can I accomplish that countless elves, men, dwarves, and more have been unable to accomplish? I was helpless in Mirkwood when I encountered terrible beasts of great shadow. How can I hope to reach my ambition of making this world a safer place if I cannot even keep myself safe?
Why? If I may ask a question, why do so many elves and the like think it's so important to embellish Shadow?
I want a world. Anyone live their life. They can pursue what they want to pursue. elves with our long lives get to experience many things. They get to learn many crafts. They get to meet many people, learn the histories of the past, venture across all these lands if they dare leave their woods. But I want everyone to have that opportunity. I want a hobbit from the Shire to be able to walk into the depths of the Mirkwood and, by their own wit, survive. To not be beset upon by creatures of darkness that wish to end them. I wish people could, in their cities, and feel comfort and not pressured into becoming a thief, joining gangs. I want a world where those who live here can pursue what they truly desire. And whether that be to be a treasure hunter and go out and find some lost Numenorian treasures in some keep somewhere, or to be a scholar and learn how to heal when someone falls and breaks their leg, or when someone falls off their wagon, or gets sores from sitting there too long. It's just such a big goal. I don't know if I'll ever achieve that. So it's a bit heavy for early morning chat.
No.
It's just been on my mind. After all the running around I've been doing, I've kept as many people alive as I can after being in a place that I saw as home for so many years, trying to almost being the end of me. It's just been a lot. I'm not sure if I'm making the right decisions, but all I can do is keep making them. Hope that I end somewhere good.
All you can do, Fainal, is the best that you can do. No one will ever ask more of you than that. And those that do are not worth your time. As for seemingly impossible tasks, we've come a long way. This realm of Middle-earth, we've invented and refined, and we've brought about a new age of peace and prosperity to all lands. But this was not achieved by one person. This was achieved over thousands of years.
I could potentially have thousands of years. I could inspire others. I could lead them. I could show them the correct way to approach life. Not everyone will agree with me, and I'm okay with that and willing to discuss that with them. And not everyone will concede to my thoughts on how perhaps this world should be shaped. But I don't know. I just want somewhere where a child can, like Belgo can be, grow from child and die old, without any fear of dragons or orcs or goblins, without the fear of a thief slitting his throat in the night. I want somewhere that everyone can be safe. I'm trying. I've already more or less spoken to King Bard, Dale, about trying to assemble strong fighters and gather them and rally them together. Try and make it so that at the very least we are well prepared against any threats from the Shadow. But it slaughtered so many of my spiders that we encountered. I'm sure my companions have mentioned it, but I fought a spider that was larger than that tavern. And really, the only reason we got away was because the fire got too wild for it. There was too much smoke, and we fled after it killed dozens. And we were helpless. The man who killed one of our companions, probably one of the stronger elves out there, died immediately to it. Immediately devoured. He was over 1,000 years older than myself. I just want the strength to be able to help people. Even if my dream isn't met, I want to be able to push people in the direction for that dream to come true. It's something I'm willing to die for.
I admire that. That's very selfless.
I try. You know, I wasn't always this deep and melancholic. Melancholic. I believe that's the word. I was once
Okay.
just a little rascal running around in the woods, having fun, dropping snakes on people out of trees. It was good. All good laughs.
Make a perception check for me really quick.
An 8.
Yeah, you're pretty deep in conversation. You can barely hear, though, as you begin talking about kind of your youth, your childhood, the sound of a young voice belgo. You can't tell exactly what he's saying, but you can hear him get all excited about something inside, and it really emphasizes that as well. Just this whole idea of, yeah, you were young once, and look at where you are now.
I'm proud of the man that I'm becoming. I'm glad that when I spoke to my father, he seems to be proud of the man I'm becoming as well. But it's taken a long time and hardship to get here. A lot of being alone and being away from my peoples. Perhaps, Jess, being away from your people is what you need as well.
No one needs to be away from their people.
You're surprised it did me a whole amazing world of look at my style, look at my hair, look at my clothes. No one else can compare.
See, in my head, you're just proving my point.
I think you and
It
Valis
feels-
are going to get along very well.
I'm glad you were able to get something out of being away from your people, Feanor. Gives me hope that I can too, but as for right now, I feel very disconnected and uncertain.
Yes. Well, I have never been to the Shire, but perhaps after you've found some of what you're looking for, you can show me around. I'm all for experiencing the world. Hey, if I want to try and help all the peoples of this Middle Earth, I have to know all the people of this Middle Earth. Their cultures, the way they react to things.
That'll take you a long time.
I'm willing to learn. Time is one of the few things I actually have an infinite amount of. Theoretically. I haven't really figured that out yet.
I don't think that fighting giant spiders is going to be very conducive to a long and happy life.
What? Are you saying that I was in danger? Oh, no. Oh, I was in danger, wasn't I? Oh,
Back to the
no.
brooding.
Yeah.
You
Oh, I
admitted
could have
it.
died. Oh, no. Oh.
Look, Feanor, it's okay if you can't carry a boulder right away. You need to start somewhere, and someone has to pick the pebbles.
Yes, that is true. I suppose the other thing that is weighing on me is, for 5 years, after the Battle of Five Armies, I explored, I experienced, but I always longed to go home. I was grateful, and I am grateful for my time spent in Esgaroth, and, like just roaming, being among the woodmen. It's given me an appreciation for life that I didn't have before. But already, after such a relatively short period, having to say goodbye to one of my best friends again. Paranthiel inside. We spent most of our lives together, and for 5 years I hadn't seen her. No hair nor hide. And now I'm sending her off with her people, a new family, to where can be safe, with the hope that that brings good from it, to turn these people that were in a dark place into hopefully beacons of light for others, but it just feels like it's another sacrifice I'm having to make. So I can't go with her. I have my own ambitions and my own goals, and they won't be achieved by waiting around. Stagnation, as I said before.
But it still hurts.
It still hurts.
The door to the Easterly Inn creaks open, and you can see out from the doorway Theodric. There's something a little bit different about him, but actually, Feanor, I'm going to have you make an insight check for me as he does come out.
19.
19. You're very insightful about what's going on. He seems to be in one of the best moods you've actually ever seen him in. You notice right away the locks that have been tied into his braid, and you recognize right away exactly what it is. But as opposed to melancholy, you see that there is this hint of joy on his face, a twinkle in his eyes, almost inspired by by something. You have no idea what, but he comes kind of like beaming, looking at you, seeing you talking to Jess.
Oh, here comes Cherry. Hey, Theodric, how are we? You seem
Good morning,
seem
Feanor.
well? Yes,
Yes,
morning.
I'm doing quite well despite being woken up by the abomination this morning.
Oh, was it flying? Please tell me it wasn't flying.
It wasn't flying, just kind of like leaning,
thank God.
looming over me, I guess. Like just
I
kind
I think that is not quite worse, but not good.
You,
no.
you know what's even freakier than that?
Well, no, I am assuming you're going to tell me though.
Yes, absolutely. He does not have dog breath.
What? Theodric, what did he smell like?
It actually now that I think about it, it just kind of smells normal. Like it doesn't smell. It also tried talking. It tried talking. It tried talking. I don't know what it was saying, but it not even growls. Just
You're
like,
in too much of a. I think you were hallucinating or dreaming.
I wish I was. I'm just grateful.
Is this
for
another one of the dreams that you've? Oh my God!
No,
I know what
no.
it is. This isn't a magic dog at all. This is all
It's
just.
not.
Oh, it's all been in our heads.
Other
Oh my
people
God.
have been
Oh my
dealing with
God.
this. It's not just me. Anyway,
Oh my God! It's a magic dog.
beside
What
the
is
point.
world?
Beside the point.
his head is in his hands. He's like, what is the world?
That
It's
is
got
beside.
magic dogs that can talk.
I mean, it can't talk. It tried, which is still kind. Anyway, I thought you might want to come in. Breakfast is ready. I believe that turkey bacon was mentioned. I didn't.
Yes, I do.
I thought bacon was specifically from pigs, but I guess it's from birds now too.
Bacon is a part. It is it's a cut of meat you can get from multiple animals.
Huh. Okay. Well, yes. I believe somebody said turkey bacon was almost ready. We've still got a lot of pork from the boars that the elves captured or hunted last night.
Sounds good.
Breakfast looks amazing.
Well, I'll be in a minute. I'm just gonna soak in the last few rays of light before I head in. And
Yes.
Feanor does stand up and he's like stretching.
Well, try not to get sunburned, will you? You're already looking a little bit pinkish. Huh. I've never noticed. You're quite tan for an elf. Caranthiel probably would have burnt by now. Valineth definitely would have.
Well, I was just sunbathing, so that probably does have something to do with it. But look, I'm a rough and tumble kind of guy. I'm not sitting in houses all the time or in the woods. Sometimes you gotta sleep on rocks under the sun.
Yes.
Well, you
can-
shouldn't, but sometimes you do.
I'm gonna go eat breakfast. Have fun with your lounging and grass touching and. I mean, wait, is Jessamine still wearing the flower crown?
It would be a new day, so I would say new flower crown.
How many of those do you have?
Wouldn't you like to know?
A new one every day.
Friedrich's going to just glance at Jessamine and just be like, and enjoy the outdoors and your lounging and your sunbathing and flower crown making. I don't know.
It's quite easy.
Actually, if Jess has been making a flower crown, can Fana be like, "Can I have that?"
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, cool. And he's gonna take it and he's gonna put it on. He's gonna be like, "This does make me feel better."
It really does. It's
Oh.
so relaxing to make.
Also, I didn't know I hit you that hard. You might want to get somebody to check that out.
What do you mean?
He'll be
I
alright.
I don't know what he's talking.
You have a slight bruise.
Oh, only a slight bruise. Well, I did fight Savage taller. So, look,
Yeah.
the fact that I came out with only a slight bruise should be a testament to my skill.
I would agree with that.
Yes.
That one was from me though.
Well, semantics.
Oh, well, I'm gonna go eat.
You should feel good,
Oh.
Theodric. You just a wound from you just got compared to a wound from Savage Taller. You should puff your
Look, I'm
chest up a
sure
little
if
bit.
Theodric stabbed me through the chest with his sword, it would be about the same.
I mean, look, it's not the same, but I got to scar Maeglin before he got eaten, so you know,
True.
take what you can get. And,
Uh,
and Theodric is going to wander back inside for food.
Jess, I'm gonna have you make a perception check for me.
Yes, because I am so good at those. 1 second. 14.
14. You're very engaged in the conversation, but as Theodric and Feanor start really chatting, you're kind of like looking around. You just gave your flower crown over to Feanor, looking for some new flowers to be able to make a new crown, but you are able to glance through the window and you see what the image is of Valineth, Belgo, and Caranthiel all kind of leaning out to like look out to see like what is happening. Out of concern, you have no idea why, but everyone's just like very focused, like staring at like the situation outside.
Don't look now, you two, but it appears we have an audience.
Feanor immediately looks.
Yeah.
Look,
So
as
he's
you
just looking at me.
Theodric and Feanor are both not the most subtle people. They both
No, I know.
immediately whip around, I imagine.
And as
Yeah.
you do
I
so,
just
you
look
see
over and
Belgo,
I wave.
you see Belgo like
I give him a little. Well, he seems especially cheery.
you
Yes,
see
I've
him
been
turning to like
enjoying,
talk to Valineth and Belgo, basically saying to Valineth, Valineth, they saw us.
And you're not doing a very good job of keeping secrets, my friend.
Why are we keeping secret? He looks so much better.
Well, yes, but it is not our job to poke into the business that is not ours, even if we are curious.
But I was talking to him all morning as we were coming down the stairs, and I was asking him all kinds of questions, and usually he's so detailed, but he was just giving me like one-word answers, and I was wondering if something was wrong with him. But when I tried to talk to him, he just kind of went like, eh. And then food sounded good, so I sat down and started eating food, and I saw that he was laying outside, and I saw that you Cranthiel was looking at him, and it was really concerning to me to see both of you look so concerned. And so I went over to the window and he looks better, and so I'm happy, and maybe he'll tell me more about Savage Taller later.
I rolled a 20 on my perception check. Can I hear all of this?
Oh yeah.
Wow,
He's like pressed
maybe
up against the
Belgo-
window.
Well,
Their
maybe
voices
Belgo. He,
really carry, huh? Like, I'm just saying that to Feanor.
Yes.
well, maybe Belgo. The reason he's so happy is the fact that there's a delicious breakfast awaiting for him. Let's let him eat.
Have you tried this turkey bacon? It's really good.
Oh, my God!
I
He's pressed his
have.
face against the glass. There's snot everywhere. This is.
Just pray he doesn't rub it. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
there-
no.
there
And
it goes.
immediately up to the side, you see two paws jump up, and Rufus
Oh,
kind of
great.
like looking
Yep.
out, like
Yep.
licking his face, and just.
Yep, that makes sense. Thank you, Jess, for the conversation. You know, I just wanted to sit here and wallow for a bit, but you know, it was nice talking.
Hmm. It helps sometimes.
Oh, pretty rock.
Words.
And he picks up like a really smooth stone from the ground. He's like, cool. And he throws it as hard as he can away from the house. That was a cool rock. Anyway. Breakfast?
Jess will sit there for a moment as like the two are walking away, and she's just like, "What is it with men and rocks?" And then she's gonna go to a tree that she's found near the inn, and she'll just like look up and run her hand over where like there's a little stump where a branch is broken off. And she'll just rub her hand over it, pat it, and then go back inside to the inn.
Perfect. And you do so, and it's quite lively. At this point, Boldor has come down. Kalar has also come down, along with a number of the other guests, the Beornings and the Brelanders. It is quite lively. Many of the tables are filled. There's only a few empty seats left, actually. And as you all enter, specifically Theodric and Feanor, you hear Agatha says, "All right, boys, breakfast is up. Make sure you eat quick. In about, a half hour, we're gonna start making rounds for second breakfast. Make sure you have plenty of room, as I have something wonderful baked up and cooked up in the oven. We're having quiche today." And she's like very excited about this. Eventually, Jess, you enter, and Dodie walks down the stairs sleepily and says, "Oh, what time is it? Oh, I've never had so much food in my life. Well, except at Bilbo Baggins's house." Still a little too early for that. And he begins just kind of like starting to stretch, and he says, Agatha, is the coffee on? Is coffee on? Oh, it's still summer. Pumpkin spice isn't out yet from the Shire. Dindy! Ned, when you go back to the Shire, make sure you bring back some of that pumpkin spice. It's going to be fall time soon, and it's going to be very popular here at the Easterly Inn. You hear?
He says as it's spring.
Yeah, it's true.
Wait, did he say pumpkin spice? What spice do you make from pumpkins?
No, it's the spices you add to pumpkin to increase the pumpkin flavor.
Oh.
Increase and complement, I should say.
You know, I have to wonder if hobbits eat like this all the time, why would they ever want to leave home?
They don't.
Ah, well, answers my questions, I suppose.
They
So
like
then
home so much, these hobbits literally came and built one out here. Like, a place for other people to come and experience hobbit homes.
well, Agatha is a took.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what it... Did I not explain the genealogy to you?
No, I think you did that to Valineth, and I wandered off to do other things. That or I was really into my second breakfast yesterday when that happened.
That could be it.
I can't remember.
Alright.
I've kind of just been
Well,
just
to put
existing
it distinctly,
over the last 2 days.
to put it as sort of as condensed as I can, Trooks are usually the more adventurous ones in the hobbits.
Agatha steps up with her bacon. Right you are, dearie, and she places down the meals at Feanor and Theodric's table.
See, Bilbo Baggins' mother was a Took. That's where he gets his adventurous spirit from.
Did someone say... Ugh,
No.
coffee's on! Coffee's on.
And this Bilbo guy, he was the one who went with the dwarves?
Bilbo Baggins!
I think somebody vaguely explained it to me, but I'm gonna be honest, over in Rohan we didn't really care. We've got other things to deal with than far-off dragons and whatnot.
Yeah, same, pretty much. A lot of people were talking about it, but I couldn't have really cared less. All I knew was that there was a hobbit. Jess actually just explained to me that it was Bilbo Baggins.
Okay.
He
I'm
looks
gonna
over
be
at,
honest.
at the bar game like,
Until like 4 days ago, I didn't think the hobbits existed, so you know.
Oh.
The more you
Had
know.
a sad and joyless existence.
Well, no, they existed in like fairy tales that are told to the children, you know, in the mark, but not like, you know, we see the occasional elf or dwarf, or you know, we see goblins and orcs, but we don't see hobbits.
when we were in Dale, did you not walk around any of like where the festival going was happening? There were literally hobbit performers like everywhere.
Not everywhere, just a couple.
Yeah, but for me, they were everywhere. I ran into like all of them.
Yeah, see, I didn't do too much in Dale aside from like drink, take part in the couple of those contests, and stay at the inn. I don't know. I didn't take too much part in the festivities, but no, I guess I didn't notice them, or maybe I just thought they were shorter dwarves. I don't know.
With children, I suppose.
We do get mistaken for children quite a lot.
Well, there we go.
And with that,
Until people see our feet.
That's exactly what that's exactly what Dodie was gonna say. Ho ho, children, children, take a look at that boy's feet, and he points over to Belgo. I can guarantee you, almost to a certainty, that it is smooth as a baby's bottom. But this, and he puts his foot out. Now this is treasure. We hobbits, you know, not only do we tell our age by the amount of foot hair that is on each of our toes, but each one of them is an experience, they say. The more feet hair you have, the more you've experienced life. Hence the reason Agatha has so many feet hair. She has the ire of everybody in the Shire, that's for sure.
Are you writing this down, Valineth?
Oh, I've been writing this whole time, my friend. And he's
This...
Agatha,
right.
she says, "Oh, stop, honey, you're embarrassing me." And she begins like blushing, like these are like serious compliments, like.
Huh.
Absolutely.
Impressive.
in
So you
right.
Yep, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Colin.
I was just gonna say, right next to the game of golf was invented by so and so. He's writing, complimenting the length and amount of hairs on a hobbit's feet is a compliment. Dot. All right. Mark
And-
for later.
Dodie, he can...
Valineth's next chapter is going to be hitting on hobbits 101.
hitting on hobbits for dummies.
The first in-depth dating guide for Middle Earth.
Starting with
Valineth
chapter
walks
1
over.
hobbits.
Valineth walks over to Jess and clears his throat. My, you have mighty long hairs on your feet today, hobbit. Jess.
Do I? And she looks down at her feet, and you see that her feet, like compared to some of the older hobbits, it's more like a younger hobbit.
Would Valineth
Hobbit
know
hair.
that?
Valineth, I'm gonna
Did
have
he-
you make
did
a
he look at her
performance
feet
check
at
for
all?
me.
Oh Lord, performance.
Yeah,
Feanor was just like
okay.
looking at Theodric and like looking back at Feanor, like leans forward.
That
What
is
is
a
going on?
natural 20.
A natural
20.
It is. He is genuinely impressed with your feet. He just learned this about hobbits, that
Yeah.
the hairier the feet, the more impressive. The fact that this is coming from the heart. This isn't just this isn't just. He's not just saying this to for lack of a better term, blow smoke up your skirt. He is literally saying like, wow, you got very hairy feet.
This
Yeah.
is from the heart.
Okay, so Jess actually like tears up a little bit, and she just like,
Theodric is just eating this enraptured, watching this enraptured just
yeah.
as he eats his breakfast.
she's just gonna go ahead and hug you. I don't know if you're kneeling down at all, but if you're not, then she will just straight up hug your legs.
Yeah, that's fine. He was not kneeling, so the leg hug is.
She's
is
hugging your
appropriate.
knees.
Yeah. And Valinith turns back to Theodric and gives him a thumbs up.
That's the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me.
How is he this eloquent? Like, with what? He hasn't been like this with any other rates that we've. What? How is?
Guess I'm just feeling lucky today.
And and Belgo, he says, yeah, I don't have a lot of hair on my feet, but Rufus has lots of hair on his feet, so he must be a really good boy. Rufus just.
I don't know that it
Stiff in the
applies to. Never mind. Okay, you're a good boy.
You smell better than him, though.
Well, hey, there's a
Wait,
compliment. There's a
looking
compliment.
up
No,
Yeah.
Theodric.
I guess
that is not
it's
a
more like
compliment.
this.
That is a
Yeah.
bare minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
He's probably taller than me.
Yeah, it's just like
something.
like looking down a little bit.
Belgo's
Yeah.
trying, and we should encourage that.
Well, no, if it's wrong, if it's wrong, you shouldn't encourage it.
Fair.
Dodie, he's made his way over at this point. He has a cup of coffee in hand, and you could tell, like, with every step, the vigor is returning to him. His face just starts to become red and jolly, and the cheeriness. He says, I heard you had mentioned something, Master Theodric, about that you weren't fighting dragons or anything. Based off of what I've heard you coming through, you fought a number of things coming through not only Mirkwood, but on your own journeys. You are heroes in your own right, aren't you?
Heroes might be a bit of a stretch. We're
Yes, we are.
do-gooders,
He's just being very
lucky
modest.
adventurers, I suppose.
Some would say there was a company of dwarves that weren't very hero-like, but they experienced quite a few things on the road. Yes,
Oh
they
my God.
defeated trolls, they defeated dragons, but before that, some would consider them heroes for sure. To all of the dwarves out here, talk to any of them, including, let's see, there was a dwarf that was here the other day who claims that he was the son of, what was it, Biffer? I'm not sure. He made his way down to Woodman Town or something, but I don't believe dwarves. They always try to claim that they have some kind of claim to fame, but me, best friends with Bilbo Baggins, of course, and we have Jess here, Sackville
Can
Baggins.
Feanor-
Did I mention Baggins? He is a
Can
hero in
Feanor
his
try
own
to
right.
like insight this? Because like he spent some time with dwarves. He wants to see if this guy's been like truthful. It's like, oh yeah, they're always boasting, trying to take
Yeah,
like.
yeah. Go ahead and make
credit for
a traditions check for me.
a 14.
14. It's hit or miss. Most of them want more to do with their lineage, and so they care more about their lineage as opposed to like connecting themselves to like other famous people. So if a dwarf claimed that he was related to another dwarf, that's probably true.
I don't know. They seem to be quite noble and truthful people, but perhaps you've just run into some of the ones who are, deceivers.
Don't get me wrong, he was a lovely chap. In fact, he did quite a bit of helping around the place. He's quite good when it comes to, fixing stonework. There was a few chips out of the bridge. In fact, how did that bridge hold up against the wagon?
Yeah, it seemed to go fine.
Ah, the craftsmanship of dwarves. That is why we hired one on the premise. Where is he, by the way? And he begins to wander off. But anyways, adventurers, heroes, whatever you consider yourselves, stay as long as you like. However, and he looks to both Valineth and Theodric. Adventurers and heroes, you have a Baggins in your presence here. They are good for adventuring, and he looks at you and he gives you a wink.
That was about as subtle as a dragon, I suppose.
Speaking of which, so
No,
Valineth as a
Well,
scholar has...
sorry, you go.
No, it's okay. Yeah, Valineth as a scholar has a feat that he can do where he can. It's called. Hold on a second. Let me double check that. Or it's an action, not a feat. But it basically is. Hold up. Where is it? Where is it? News from afar. So I can get information about news from afar if I inquire about such things.
Okay.
And I get a +5 to that roll.
Do you want to use it?
If I can do so. So Valineth is he's gonna use it now since it's the end of the adventure. So he's gonna inquire or just see if he's heard anything about Woodman Hall, Woodman Town, if any news on if things are going well there or if there are a bunch of evil men chilling there, you know, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Okay.
So
I'm going to
Can
have
I make a roll
you...
for that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have you make a. You've spent some time in this inn talking to a number of the people. I'm gonna have you make an investigation check, and that's gonna be at +5. What was the rest of you going to do while that's gonna be rolled?
Theodric, after hearing that very blatant,
18.
very obvious, I guess, sponsorship of Jess's abilities, is going to turn to Feanor and Jess specifically. Mostly Feanor at this point. Actually, is Baldur. Baldur came down.
Yeah, Baldur's there.
And he's going to turn to, I guess, more Feanor and Baldur, and just be like, that does remind me, as lovely as it is here, we do have to hit the road sooner rather than later.
Indeed.
When do
I'm
we
going
want
to
to do that?
sidle up to Dodie
Okay. Perfect.
and just like whisper something in his ear.
Okay.
When do we want to do that? Because as lovely as this is, sitting around and getting fat from second and third breakfasts and whatnot, you know, as nice as it is, we probably shouldn't dally too much longer.
It is
Well,
quite nice indeed, but you see, we've made good time through Mirkwood regardless of our circumstances, and if we wanted to stay, I was assuming that Feanor would like to see some of his friends off. But if he thinks that they will be in good hands with Dindy, then I have no troubles picking up and going whenever the mood seems fit.
Yes, I don't see perhaps why we might not even be able to leave tomorrow.
Yes,
I
like
don't
I
know.
said, there's no rush. You know, obviously, Valineth and I and the others have had a couple more days to convalesce and relax than you have, Feanor. So
I suppose
You know,
that's true.
whenever
I think
you're ready to go, we can
I
do
think
that.
when Caranthiel and her group head off is probably when I don't want to
Yes.
linger here too long, but I don't want to cut that time short just yet.
Yes, that seems fair.
So
Fair
from
enough.
today, it is two days, and so you'll be spending another 2 days. if
By
that's-
the way, what's the current date in the Middle Earth?
yes,
time.
yes. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Continue onward as I pull up my calendar.
Sorry about that.
Valineth, what are you?
Actually-
what are you doing? Like,
What am I doing? I'm waiting for this wound to heal. But that aside, I'm ready to go whenever anyone is ready to go. We do have a quest that we have to finish. We have to take Belgo and Baldur here to... Is it Baldur? Baldur?
Baldur, yeah.
Yeah.
Baldur. Sorry, Baldur. I'm just thinking Baldur's Gate 3. Anyways,
Yeah.
Baldur here to Woodman Hall. Speaking of which, did I get any information with that 18?
It
That
is
Woodman
April
Hall?
26th.
Almost my birthday. All right. Did
Yes. Okay, yes, with that 18 you absolutely do. Basically from what you were able to gather, Woodman Town or Woodland Hall is currently not in a state of being besieged upon any shadow. In fact, a number of the guests that have come through here, Bayornings and Woodmen, have been making way towards Woodman Hall. In fact, they are very well known for summer hospitality. Many of the Woodmen that go back and forth between the different settlements like to stop and kind of pay homage to the original Woodman town that was theirs, which is Woodman Hall. And begin conversing and storytelling. As the days grow longer, the longer the nights are, the longer the feasts are. Or the longer the days are, the longer the feasts are. And so people go there for feasting activities specifically. But at the moment, there is, that you can hear of, nothing necessarily besetting that area of any kind.
And from what I hear, it seems like at least the difficulty, the brunt of our adventure is mainly at the end. It seems like Woodman Hall, from what I hear, or Woodland Hall, is quite in good spirits. And once we finally get there, we'll finally have a little bit of solace and peace to be able to relax.
Sounds wonderful.
It'll be good to be amongst the Woodmen again. Yes. Actually, Alnith, how is that rock helping you? You were just mentioning
about-
another healer, and I think we, with Caranthiel going on our own way.
Yeah.
Hey, Jess, want to join our gang? Oh wait, I should probably ask permission.
No,
guys.
no.
Hey guys, do we want her to join our gang? I had quite a lovely conversation with her before, but I think I need input. I need your.
Well, I feel like I have a lot to learn from her as well.
Yeah, I thought
don't
another
see a
healer
reason
might
why.
be valuable to have around.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why we can't have her along. She seems like a lovely hobbit, with her long foot hairs and all.
While this is happening, Theodric is watching Jess's reactions and just staying quiet.
Yeah. But yeah, so Theodric, nothing to. I guess we overruled him. So what do you say, Jess? Do you wanna join our little merry band? Don't
I'm
worry,
curious.
you probably won't die.
What did you say to, if you want to type it, you could do that, but...
No. I was just gonna look. I know you're trying to help me, but I told you I would carry this out in my own fashion.
Oh,
Like
you know
Bilbo
me,
would.
I'm just trying to help a family member out.
Yes, I know. And thank you very much.
Indeed. In fact, I think they are disgusting such a prospect. I tried to drop it as subtly as I could, but considering the circumstances, and I thought they were going to be leaving today. I had no idea.
Excuse me, Doty.
Yes.
Is there any more coffee out the back?
Coffee.
We seem to
Coffee.
be running a bit dry.
Agatha, brew another pot. And then he goes ahead and he walks over and pulls out a stool and sits right down at the table with you.
Damn it. Oh, thank you. Service
Don't
ready.
worry, my wife is on it.
Jody, I wanted to ask you a question about something.
Yes, of course.
Your great-great-great-great-grand aunt on your cousin's side. Now, what was her name again? I can never remember. Do you mind going upstairs and getting the book of your family tree so we can cross-reference it with my book?
Did you say
So we
my
can
great
settle
great
it.
great aunt on my mother's side or my great great aunt?
Cousins.
Cousin
Second
side.
cousin mothers.
Oh, that would be Bertha.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Now you're making me doubt
Can you go
myself.
check for me?
Make a deception check.
Okay. Finally, something I'm good at. Okay.
Can this be with advantage? Because Theodric is pretending to look very interested in this topic.
I'll with +2.
Okay, with +2, that's a 15.
15. Now you've got me doubting myself. Agatha's busy in the kitchen. She knows all of these things much better than I. However, and he begins just walking off, like, out the front door towards, like, his, hobbit hole, essentially.
Okay, now that
Okay.
he's gone, I think we should take her just to rescue her from having to deal with that.
Yes, please, I need to get out of here.
I mean, it's like Valineth dialed up to 15. Like, it's...
Whoa, you say that like it's some kind of insult, and I'm gonna look very pointingly at Theodric. Valence,
Oh,
hear this?
Why? I find him to be quite charming, though a little much sometimes.
Listen,
it's-
I don't know how much
Valineth
healing I
finds
can
him to
offer
be a
you
little
guys.
bit much.
It seems like Valineth has that pretty much covered. He said that his works faster than mine, but I don't understand that. But I would love to learn more about that. So I don't know how much my healing capabilities are going to be to you guys. But I'm a great cook, and I'm good with my hands. And these guys were training me to fight on the caravan over, and they said that I was, pretty good. So
Well,
I can
I
hold
think-
my own.
I think
won't
that
be a
there's
burden.
only perhaps one way to test this out. Let's fight.
That seems remarkably dangerous.
Whoa. We just go outside and it's just a sparring match. We'll have a fight and we'll see how well you hold yourself up. Hold you
Oh,
I mean,
Right?
I'm all for her joining sparring match or no, really.
Well, look, I don't want to bring someone along. When we
Look.
got together and joined originally, we'd all proven ourselves and all had experience. Sorry, Jess, we don't really know you.
No, that's completely fair.
And I don't want you to put
if we
put
get
in a
into a spot
situation.
of trouble, I don't want you guys worrying about me.
I would feel more comfortable knowing your capabilities.
I will take that then. Come on, Jess. Let's have a sporting ability here. The sporting match outside.
Right.
How does that sound?
That sounds still very dangerous.
It's
how
okay. We have
do you-
healers on hand, right, Corinthial?
Oh,
That seems reckless.
no.
Yeah, but,
We use sparring blades for such things, and she kind of like looks
Yeah,
around
whoa.
like worriedly as she sees Feanor like gripping like whatever weapon he has like on him.
it's like holding a spear. What are you? Oh yes, sparring weapons.
And
Yes.
Ugar, who's at one of the tables eating, just beginning his second breakfast, the leader of the Beornings that are there, he says, "Oh, come on, Jess. In fact, we did a few sparring sessions on our way over here, and you can hold your own. Now, where were those blades that I have? I'll be right back." And he makes his way upstairs as he comes...
Oh, can you get my special short run?
Of course. And he goes...
Thank you. It's so much
and
more comfortable.
he mumbles to himself. I'm gonna have you make a perception check.
Who, me?
Yeah, you, Jess.
I'm not good at perception.
Feanor, you can
Kinda-
also make
kinda
one
t-
too.
Stop telling me. Okay, it's a 7.
Okay.
Okay, Jody's come back.
No. Yes, perception. 13.
13. Jess, you see him kind of making his way. The groaning is actually groaning that you've remembered from when he kind of gets up and he's hasn't quite stretched. He's not an old Beorning, but he's definitely a large Beorning, and so it's difficult to sometimes move. But with Feanor, you actually hear him mutter under his breath, "Ah, the child's blade it is."
Yeah, look, he kind of looks. He kind of looks at her, looks up at how big the Bjorning is, and goes like, "That makes sense." But no, he does like give a little nod to like Theodric and Valineth. Compliments from a Bjorning. That's quite impressive.
Yes. I mean, we all remember.
I mean,
remember that other
Her
Beorning
yeah.
during
Gerald.
the
Yeah, Gerald.
Yeah.
He was a mad lad. Yeah.
one of the
Incredibly-
biggest beatings I think I've ever taken.
Yep. Took it like champions.
Good times. Anyway, you're not allowed to use the net during this spa.
Oh, what?
The
What?
net's
I know you're so good at net.
Or
children.
fire,
Oh.
Feanor.
She's not a child.
What? But that's
Like-
my time. You.
But it's
How am I
okay.
supposed-
It's
How am I
okay.
supposed to battle?
Here, and he walks
But
over to you.
This is how we even it.
Belgo walks over to you and says, "All right, I don't know how strong she is. He's gonna make a stealth check for me."
Look, I'm just saying that you have a 100% success rate with fire and the net, and we
Yeah,
need this to. It's
exactly.
only a spa.
Well,
It's only
yeah,
a
but,
spa.
I don't know.
I suppose we don't. Well, I haven't killed anyone with a net.
Well, no, but we don't want to take
Yet.
risks. Yeah, we don't want to take any risks.
But Feanor, I know we practiced a lot, and I don't know how good she is. If her feet hair is also testament to how good in battle she is, she's really strong. So, and he hands over, not so subtly. Don't worry, I've got you. And he slips a rock into your pocket.
Thank you, Belgo.
In case you need it.
What? He kind of just like Feanor kind of like looks at Valorith like, what? Thank you, Belgo.
Oh yeah, Jess,
if
you
I
noticed
need it,
this too.
I'll be if I need it, I'll be sure to throw it.
No.
Yes.
Do I see what kind of rock it is?
You do. So he hands it over. It's
Okay.
probably about like half the size of like my palm. And it's pretty
Mhm.
oval shaped. It looks like a good skipping stone. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, but it's not like one of my special property crystals.
No,
Keep it
definitely not.
secret.
Definitely
Okay,
not.
Safe.
yeah, I just like, I like think for a second. I'm like, okay, that shouldn't be a problem, but just in case. And I give like a little black stone an extra good luck rub.
You make your way outside.
Mm.
And as you do so, Igwar, he comes down with the blades. He actually ends up giving Feanor a choice between a longsword or a broadsword. So a broadsword's going to be the equivalent of like a rapier. So using your dexterity modifier instead. But he's going to give you the choice of that, and then he actually hands over the short sword to you, Jess. The sparring blade. And
Give it
with
to
that,
you.
yes. Which one do you choose, Feanor?
The broadsword.
The broadsword. Okay. So he gives it to you. May this serve you well. Good luck to the both of you. Remember, make this fair, and I cannot wait to see this. And he looks basically like up and down at you, Feanor, like a little bit impressed, but then he kind of gives like a good luck wink to you, Jess. Show him a thing or two.
I give one back.
Feanor does walk up to Jess like while they're still organizing. He's like, "Thank you for indulging me in this.
Oh,
I know it probably might not be a big deal, but still, thank you for indulging what might be something."
it's important for you to know the capabilities of the people around you, especially if I know you seem very intent on protecting people.
Yes, and if I better understand someone's strengths, I better know how to utilize them in a military situation. I mean, yes, keeping people safe. He gives a little wink.
She smiles.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Can I like sort of see what sort of terrain is around us? Are there
Yeah,
any,
so it's out in the meadow. It's a fairly wooded area, which is why I've chosen this battle map. Plus, it's what I've got up here at the time. But it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a fairly wooded area. But there's
Really?
probably about
Fine.
you could probably take like this circle here is probably
Yeah.
going to be pretty free. But if you wanted to move over, there are some trees that you can use as well.
Okay. Yes. Did you want to roll initiative or?
No, even if
Feanor's
we were
letting me
going
have
to,
the first whack.
Feanor's like, show me what you've got. And he's standing there
Okay.
with his shield on one arm and then holding the broadsword with the tip of it just hovering just above the ground. And he's kind of like bouncing on the tips of his toes.
Okay.
And we're going to go ahead and begin the combat. You start about 15 minutes apart from each other in the middle of this meadow.
15 feet.
15 feet apart from each other.
Okay, so, yep, got it. Okay, let me see. Okay. The only thing I can think to do is... I can't actually see the map on my screen. I think I need to, like, reload. In order to do
Can
that.
everyone
But you
else see it?
that
Is it just me that I can see?
I can
just
see it.
reloaded.
Yeah, it's just me.
Okay.
My internet connection sucks.
If you do
but
what
I
I
can
do,
see
you
it-
can just get
I
Twitch.
can,
can
I
see it
can
on
narrate this for
Twitch,
you. So you're standing
or-
15 feet away from him.
Yeah, I can see it on Twitch, so I can see like a little bit. You see that little clump of trees that's between me and Feanor on the top end?
Yes, right here.
Yes. Can I run towards that and then take a bonus action to hide?
So you move 20 feet, and you take your bonus action, and you hide. Feanor, you see as she makes a beeline immediately for the trees, as if she is running away. You're prepared. You're just waiting defensively to see what she's doing, and she scurries with her little hobbit feet, and she literally ducks right inside the wood line and immediately vanishes.
Did you need me to roll a stealth check?
Nope.
Okay.
Theodric is sitting at the sidelines with Valana, and he's just sipping his cup of coffee, and it's just like, wow, she's just gone. Like, I didn't even see. Valana, did you even see where she went? Because that's impressive.
What? It started. Valineth wasn't paying attention. Oh, wait, where's Jess? I thought they were sparring.
I mean,
Feanor,
Yeah.
it's your turn.
Feanor is going to take. He's going to like watch her like dart off into the woods and be like, interesting. And he is also going to step in the wood line, and I am going to attempt to like stealth my way.
Yes, and so with you, are you going to hide specifically?
No, I just like I want to be trying to move stealthily, trying to see her.
Okay.
Like he's not making an attack or anything.
Jess, I'm going to have you make a stealth check for me as he ducks into the woods.
I hate everything. That was a natural one.
Natural one. You see her literally as you duck in. You're stealthily moving, and then you just see right below you, literally 5 feet from you, Jess up against the tree with her sword, and you guys lock eyes. It's just, what's happening?
Hello there. If he's noticed her immediately, he's going to try and shield bash her into the tree.
All right.
I guess like more like pin her against the tree. So I guess what would that be like a?
It's more like a grapple, I would say.
Technically.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So go ahead and make an athletics check for me. This can be contested either by athletics, Jess, or you could use acrobatics as well.
Okay, I'm gonna use acrobatics.
Okay.
That was 12.
Yeah, I got a 10. So.
Ooh,
You're
I got
able,
12.
and as you duck down to try to pin her against, she's able to just barely squeak out from underneath. You see that she is very difficult to pin down in one place, but she is there. She is within kind of striking distance still. Let's see. So I'm gonna say, okay. So that was like an action for Feanor in order to do that. Jess, you already used your bonus action to attempt to hide. I would say a reaction to try to get rid of it. You still have an action to be able to use if you want to do so.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna try and attack Feanor.
All right.
Um,
This is weird not controlling anything in combat.
actually- oh yeah. How's that going?
It's nice. It's peaceful. I got bird noises going on in the background.
Oh, that's pretty good. 23.
Oh yeah, that hits. Yeah.
Right.
All right, and then going and rolling for some damage.
5.
5. So Jess, you are able to squeeze out and duck around, and you're able to take your sword and you're able to jam it just into his side, as if like he's leaned up against the tree, and you dodge it, take your sword, boom, like right into his side. It does hit his armor that he has. It doesn't cut anything, but it is a fierce poke, and you feel this, Feanor.
You might even say it's a bit of a sting. I'll see myself out.
Jess, it is your turn at the top of the combat round.
It's my turn, yay! Okay. I am. Is he within melee range of me?
Yep, 5 feet.
Okay.
By the way, all of this
I'm
is happening in Valinith, Theodric, and everyone. You can like kind of see something that's going on. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, this is boring.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me if I can do this.
Okay.
Can I attempt to hide behind Feanor?
Yes, I'm gonna have you make a stealth check to do so, and I'm gonna have that stealth check be contested. Feanor, this is going to be a reaction to do so if you want to contest it. Essentially, I'm gonna have you make a either perception check or just straight wisdom check.
Yeah, I'll do perception.
I got a 15.
17.
17. Feanor, you do see this.
You're too freaking perceptive.
So that's your bonus action, and then your reaction.
I'm sorry to interrupt real quick. I just realized Forge gave inspiration like 3 days ago in a stream that had nothing to do with this.
What?
Who was that for, Dain? And why?
He vanished. I don't
Like-
even... Oh,
Okay,
King Engelbert is back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he
He'll tell us.
gave inspiration during a Tears of the Kingdom stream. Like
Yeah, it
5
probably
days
wouldn't
ago.
have meant anything though.
Dane, who did you
What
give
did I do?
inspiration to during Tears of the Kingdom? Was that on
Oh, I
accident?
did do that, didn't I?
You did.
Wait, who needs it?
Was
Well-
that on accident?
We'll
Yeah,
I
save
missed
Feanor.
it. Sorry.
Technically-
Tell him.
Technically, Jess wasn't a part of the party yet. So,
Yeah. So it's Theodric or
Technically.
Feanor.
No,
Well, I already
I'll
have
give
it,
it
so it's
to.
for
Yeah, I'll
Feanor,
give it
I'd
to
say.
Cool.
Feanor then.
Yep.
Yeah.
alright, you're
Balance.
inspired,
Sorry,
but
I'm just.
anyways.
I'm just going
Ultimate
through.
betrayal.
Yeah, so Jess, you have been noticed, but you still have your action or reaction dues.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna favor aggression, and I'm gonna try and poke him again.
All right.
This whole time, can Theodric and Valinith see anything aside from the trees?
Like you can like barely see some shuffling behind it, but like it's pretty boring. Yeah, you can't see a whole
I
lot.
got a 10. I imagine that doesn't hit you.
No.
Yeah, you see that the poke is coming again. You're like, whoa, and you're just able to kind of like with your hips just sway out of the side. Which brings us to your turn, Feanor.
Yeah. Feanor is gonna be like, alright then, and he is going to just attempt to attack.
All right.
Okay.
That was a 17 hit.
I will have to check that. Hang on. yes, that'll hit.
Okay, cool. What damage does a broadsword do?
So it's
What dice
1d8 plus your dex mod.
Pretty stunky.
True. Just is pretty stocky.
Mm.
So 4 damage.
4 damage. So you're able to
Okay,
just you
yeah.
take your sword and basically just boop her like right on the shoulder as
With the flat of the blade, he's like
just
smacked up.
which brings us again to the top of the round. Which Jess, what are you doing in this situation?
Okay, well, being aggressive didn't work, so I'll try the opposite of that. I'm going to disengage, use
Okay.
my movement to get as far away as possible, and then try stealthing again.
All right, you duck back into the tree line again, and yeah, I'm gonna have you make a stealth check for me.
Perfect.
And Valneth is swirling his coffee as he sees Jess poke out of the trees for a brief moment. So fun weather we're having, isn't it, Theodric?
I don't know why Theodore gave me levels, but he did. Total 12.
12. Okay. What's your passive perception, Feanor?
Sorry, someone got wind.
That might be Theodric's fan.
Yes.
Sorry, I've been fiddling with
Fine
stuff.
weather, isn't it?
My passive
It's fine
perception is
weather, no
11.
problem.
11. Okay.
So-
So yeah, you do hide. You do hide successfully.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. That was my passive insight. Passive perception is 13.
You're so rude.
You do not
That's
hide.
not fair.
You see
It's
her
cheating.
exactly where she's running off to. Right.
I want to try and walking through. If there's nothing else she's doing, I want to try and just like stealth through the woods, but pretty much like stalking her, like getting as close to her as possible.
Jason moment. Just
Yeah, yeah. I
The
want
hobbits
to
for
appear.
the animals out now, eh?
I
Yeah,
rolled
you-
an unnatural 20 for my. Wait, actually, I might be able to get better. A 21 for my stealth.
all right. So you're using your bonus action to hide, meaning you're gonna get as close as possible. So you dart into the tree line and you're able to go within 5 feet of her without her knowing. I'm gonna say she is facing towards you, so that means you would have to make your way up here, which is just enough movement to be able to kind of flank her from the side. But she does not
And-
notice you.
And I'm going to attempt to strike her.
Go ahead and roll your attack at advantage.
While this is happening, Theodric just looks over to Velen and is like, you know, if I tried something like this during a sparring session, Lord Esmond would have never let me hear the end of it. Ever.
Well, she does have her short stature. I guess she's trying to make it work to her advantage. I mean, let's face it, Feanor himself, and he's a fierce foe on the battlefield. So I guess whatever floats her boat,
I mean, I
right?
guess, but trying to hide from a wood elf in the woods doesn't. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I see your point. An astute observation, my friend. I guess we'll see how
Hiding
it
in
plays
the
out.
Mirkwood from the Mirkwood elf.
Belgo looks up and is like, "Can I get closer? I can't see anything. This is really boring."
I pick up Belgo and put him on my shoulders. I don't know if he can see any better, but it'll keep him
Keep
occupied.
him busy.
He cannot see it. But this isn't helpful. I meant, can we go closer? And he's just like fighting you. I'm gonna have you, Theodric, make a athletics check contested with Belga.
Thank goodness I still have the what is it, the
Oh.
King's Blossom or whatever.
Oh yeah, the King's Cup.
He rolled a 6. That would have been so funny if
I
he
have
was
a
overpowered
23.
by-
Thanks to the-
23.
thanks to the
Okay. Okay.
King's Blossom or
Yeah.
whatever.
He attempts to jump off your shoulders and you just boom, like stoically, just he can't move. He's like, can you at least walk closer? And he's just like sitting up there, just like completely giving up hope. All right. Yes. Damage, Feanor. Or
I
attack.
rolled a 21.
That'll hit.
But instead of rolling damage, he's just going to place the blade on her shoulder and say, "Dead."
Mm.
Can I roll intimidation?
Sure.
It's only a 5, so.
5.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna have you make
Do I
a wisdom
roll
saving throw
wisdom
for me,
save?
Jess.
Wisdom saving? Okay.
Yep, wisdom saving throw.
If I roll.
Is there any way to give Ant?
I rolled a 6 minus 1.
Oh, so that was exactly what I rolled. I
It's
rolled
a-
a 6 minus 1.
It's a reroll. Reroll both of you.
It's real. Okay.
Do we both have a -1? Because natural 20, but it's a 19.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Natural
shit.
20.
What did you get? What did you get?
I rolled a natural 20, but it turns out it's a 19 because of the negative.
Well, that's better than I got. Oh my god.
She
I
got a
rolled
1.
natural 2 minus 1.
Yeah. As you do this, you tap her on the shoulder and you say, "Dead," and she lets out this blood-curdling scream. Wah! It just like falls over on the ground, completely drops it, and like sees you just kind of like standing there, kind of like on the side. Battle is over.
Feanor kind of like puts the blade, like the tip of the sword in the ground and like offers his hand down to her to help her up.
That was embarrassing.
Did we hear that blood-curdling scream?
You did. Everybody heard. How could you not?
It seems like Feanor finished her off. At such a young
She's
age.
dead.
And Baldur starts playing his violin.
When
No,
I
just
was.
kidding.
What kind
No,
of
no,
stars?
just-
What kind of stars has Draenor been part of?
Yeah, everyone's just
I,
certain
I,
I've
I
murdered this
guarantee you,
hobbit.
Theodric, he resorted to the rock.
No, I help her up, and I'm like, no, Jess, you actually did quite well.
Not well enough, apparently.
No,
I can do better. I know how to shoot a bow. Is that useful?
Yes, that is very useful.
Oh,
Um,
there you go.
but no, you did do well in combat. You at the beginning, I tried to grab a hold of you, and you immediately were able to evade me and take advantage of that opening to deal a strike. That
Yeah.
takes skill. That is not just something that you just have. That is a trained skill that you would have had to have learned. Good job. Truly, you were very, very stealthy. If you were not facing, perhaps,
A
me-
wood
I
elf in his
I am-
own comfortable.
especially, I'm also
room.
a hunter, and I spent the last few months training with one of the head scouts of a group of elves. Like, it was. I can tell you by the way that you were hiding and the way you were moving. You've got skills. It's great things to come, if you wish to hone them. I'm satisfied.
Would that be something that you'd be interested in teaching me more of, how to hide in the woods,
Of course.
even from your eyes?
Yes. Look, I get a bunch of laughs when I just sneak up on the rest of them. Why would I rob you of that same opportunity?
That's really nice of you.
Practical joker at heart. Don't tell Valineth.
Ah,
If he hears that I like jokes, I'll never hear the end of them.
I've never been one for practical jokes, but stealing mushrooms is sort of a rite of passage in the Shire.
Oh no, we do that in the woods as well. For entirely other purposes, I'm assuming, but yes. You know,
What?
you know when
what
you're in
other
you know what
purposes?
it's like when you're in your 60s.
No. I hope to one day.
Yes. But I think they're probably waiting. Let's go. I want to hear what their critiques were on our legendary battle.
As you mentioned this, actually, still with the basically on the shoulders, the group walks up. Theodric with Belgo. Belgo has his hands over his eyes. He's like, "Is it okay? Is it okay to look? There's not too much blood, is there?"
No, Jess is like hidden behind a plant. Feanor's like, "Oh hey guys, I won."
There is no way that Jess would agree to that.
Yeah, no, she's there. She's quite visible. She's stood up at this point. It's been some time. You guys have walked over, and you do see that the two of them are there, unharmed relatively, and maybe prides are damaged, but that's okay. It's kind of difficult to tell who the victor is outside of the scream, though, because both of them are kind of standing there, just kind of talking to each other.
Yeah.
Well,
Everything okay? We heard a blood-curdling scream. It sounded as if a banshee was about. Was there a banshee that you encountered? It seems like the two of you look perfectly fine.
Yes, Jess was able to easily slay it. I would say she is more than worthy of joining in. Oh, entourage. Yes?
That is not true.
No, clearly. No.
Feanor beat me, but he seems
She has a lot of
content with
potential.
my skills. I am beyond embarrassed, personally.
Why don't you have a spar against Valineth or Theodric? Perhaps your skill will flare up against one of them.
Well, if it's any consolation, we didn't see any of it, so.
Wait, what? But I did such a cool move. I snuck up behind her and put my sword on her shoulder and went, "You're dead." Like,
Yes.
Did you guys not see any of that?
well, no. You
I
you
heard
ran
a
into the
scream.
forest immediately.
I heard his scream,
Oh,
and we assumed the worst, and so we came to check on you.
you thought I
Um,
died?
Yeah. No, no, no.
Oh,
He it's kind of just like looking. He's like, Deidre, can you pull me down, please? And he just.
Yeah, sure. And I put Belgo back on the ground.
That was kind of fun. My dad says that he's not quite in the shape to be able to do that anymore.
don't
Yes,
worry, if
I've
he keeps up with his aerobics routines, yes, he'll eventually get up to that level again.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure first and second breakfast is enough aerobics for any of us.
I don't know, all the progress that we made in the woods, these hobbits have undone it in a matter of days.
Anyway,
Hobbits know how to live well.
Fainor, your
Yes.
assessment.
I am satisfied that she would be an excellent addition to her group. Yes, I
Well,
was
you
able
had
to
me
best
at
her.
cook.
That was like half an hour ago, Valineth.
I have
Yes.
many people I cook.
Yes, Velenus just kind of enjoying the scenery and his coffee.
He's
But
just
no,
taking some nuts out of his pocket and eating them as this is
You
happening.
know, those are very expensive.
Oh, what? These nuts are very expensive?
Those nuts.
Oh, I see, I see. Do you want some? And offers them over to Theodric.
I'm quite good. Like the second breakfast will be ready soon. Anyway,
They're
um,
they're nice and warm. I've been
Actually,
keeping them in my
Valineth,
pocket.
I wouldn't mind some. You know, this
Oh, here
reminds
you
me
go,
of a
Faye.
story where I
Take
met
some
a
nuts.
mind goblin. Have you ever,
no,
ever encountered one of them?
Oh, what is this? And Valna takes out his
No.
notebook.
Please no.
Mind goblin these nuts! Yes! And he like fist pumps,
Oh!
and he offers like a hand to high five Theodric as he's like walking past.
Oh yes. Oh
Smack.
yes.
Funny.
The wittiness.
Theodric.
I didn't know you were so funny, Feanor. Aha!
Why would you assume that? He says that you look at like completely stone faced. Like, why would you ever make that kind of assumption about me?
Belgo looks
enjoyed
to you,
my-
Theodric, and says, I don't really understand what's going on here. I didn't know goblins ate nuts.
It's. Don't worry about it, Belgo. Let's go find Rufus and then maybe have some second breakfast. Yeah.
I know Rufus likes nuts.
I mean, he prefers anything you can find on the ground, really. So.
Yeah, he ate a piece of my turkey bacon. I wasn't very happy. I scolded him.
I mean, yes.
Well, if you
Like-
drop your food on the ground, it's
Oh,
kind of
it was on
Rufus's
my
food now.
plate. It was on my plate.
Well,
he
you gotta
looks
fight
over
him
to his
for it. You have
dad,
to
and
be more
Baldur
aware.
is just like looking. It's on my plate.
Feanor's definitely like, well, then you gotta fight him for it. I'm sorry, like, you gotta assert some level of dominance over him, or else he's gonna walk all over you.
Oh, he's bigger than me. It's difficult, you know.
Well, Belgo, the time that I was in the woods fighting Savage Tor, I say as like I was walking along, I start explaining like the story of it.
Y'all make your way
He was
back.
many, many times larger than I was.
I love it. As you do make your way back, Jess, Igor, he makes his way over and says, "Did you do that hiding thing that you always did to me?"
I tried, but turns out it's rather difficult to hide from a wood elf in the wood.
Ah.
Yeah, he found me.
No, hearing this, he's like, no, she was a fine combatant. She was able to take full opportunity of my openings and was able to deliver a strike here to my side. Managed to chink into the armor.
Yeah, that's kind of bruised.
Oh, trust me,
What's another one?
I've had my fair share of bruises from this one. If
Oh, and you've
anything,
given
she
me
actually,
plenty.
Dindy doesn't hold a leaf to her, or even a candle, or anything.
What is your
Dindy's
personal
hopeless.
assessment of her combat abilities? I've been able to sense some great potential, but what is your opinion? I trust, I trust the opinion of a being.
Well, clearly you are a great warrior, considering that is all that she was able to land upon you. She's left me with more than just a few cuts and scrapes. In fact, Andy over there, Lumpy Face, all of them from the Breland, well, she can best them with her eyes closed. They're not much warriors, that's for sure. But she does have promise.
Thank you.
Well, I am extremely self-conscious now. I'm gonna go and practice with my bow and arrow because I haven't done that in a while, and I feel like it would be a very useful skill to have on the road. Enjoy a second breath fix.
As this happens, you can see Dodie coming out of his hobbit hole with an entire, what looks to be encyclopedia of his family tree. And he's currently looking through it and just, like, not even noticing that all of you are outside.
But first I have to do this. And she'll, like, jog over.
Oh! I thought you were going to wait for me back in the inn. What are you doing
Sorry,
out here?
we got a little bit sidetracked. Feanor challenged me to a duel, but it's all sorted now.
And I missed this?
We all
Don't
missed it.
worry, it was mostly in the trees.
You know, hobbits aren't good for climbing. That's why we build our homes underground.
Yes, I know. Personally, I like trees. I don't know why. Anyway, right. Let's do this now.
It was Bertha, by the way.
It was? How
Yes.
do you spell that? I thought it was an unusual spelling.
Well, it is. It's a Birtha instead of Bertha. In fact, she was done that way because they ran out of names to give the Hobbit babies. Oh, funny story, that one. I knew I would remember this.
That's what was confusing me. I thought it was Beetha.
Ah, no. She's a much closer relative.
Oh, I see. That's. You know what? That's perfectly fine. I'll amend that in my notes right away. Thank you for the information, Dodie.
Indeed. In fact, and he begins looking as almost like ignoring, like as if you have anything to say to him as he like looks through.
Yeah, I'm looking over his shoulder.
Well, you see here, I don't see where we have any relations to you per se. What is it? You descended from the Harfoots, is that correct?
Well, Bilbo's mother was a Took, so she would be related to Agatha in some way.
Ah, that's right. I knew I liked him and I knew I liked you. We're all family where we come from. In fact, and he looks, everyone's out here. Am I the only one who missed this duel?
No, we all missed it.
I didn't.
Perhaps
Neither
we will
did I.
repeat this evening. I will set up a picnic day 2. It's a beautiful day outside.
Yes.
I'd have to agree, the weather is quite nice. And Valinus swirls his coffee again.
Sorry, Jess, did you have something to say to me? As he doesn't take his eyes off of his family tree.
Yes. I'll be departing soon. As
Oh, no!
they've invited me.
Oh,
Oh,
yes!
stop it.
He kind of shrinks.
I know that you've been incredibly kind to have me this last month, but I think we both know that it's time I move on. They've agreed to take me on as one of their party.
Well, we will miss you. I'm sure Agatha is going to miss a feminine ear to talk to, but if you must, do know that the Easterly Inn is always a homely house for those in the Shire, and those for anyone, but especially you, my friend.
Of course. After all, we are family.
Family indeed! Ha ha ha! Speaking of which... Dando! Rodri! Where did they get off to? And he begins kind of like searching around. Pardon me. I don't mean to... Where are those boys? They should be up by now. And he goes and like, you can hear like chickens squawking in the back as he begins grumbling to himself, chasing the chickens again. He walks away. Oh, yes! By the way, you have my blessing. Not that you needed it anyways. He,
Thank you. Not that I needed it anyway.
Ha ha ha, but we are family after all. Consider me your uncle.
Sure. Why not?
I will make amends in the family tree. Well, in pencil, of course.
Oh, please. Let's not oversimplify things.
You're right. Tonight, We will find exactly how we are related. It'll be quite easy.
That sounds like an excellent use of time.
Ah, yes, yes, indeed. If any of you want to join us, it is a wonderful thing to be able to sit down and go over family lineages together as hobbits, especially for those who are unfamiliar. It is more interesting than any of the tales, except for perhaps the story of Bilbo Baggins, as he begins kind of muttering to himself as he makes his way to the back.
Naturally.
Valneth pulls out his notebook and the family tree that Jess told him and wrote it down and shows it to Dindy, or sorry, not Dindy, what's his name? Shows it to Dodie.
Dodie.
And he's like, is this it? Is this the family tree you're looking for?
How did you come upon such a thing in such eloquent handwriting? And he ponders, I have no time for this. My sons are awaiting. And he makes his way out towards the back.
Cool. Yeah, after second breakfast, I'm gonna spend some time practicing archery.
Perfect. Time goes by. You all kind of are off doing your own things, thinking about adventures ahead. You do have a couple of days before you do have to go. Is there anything that's exceedingly pressing on either of your characters' minds before you do evidently depart? Any conversations that need to happen? Anything? I'm going to leave it up to you.
Valneth does at some point want to go and talk with the Wood Elves more about, again, Rivendell customs, what to do there, how to approach things. You don't need to roleplay it, but basically that's going to be how he's spending his time. It's just making sure they're ready for their journey out west.
Perfect.
And probably Feanor would, I guess it'd probably be more, like, he'd just be spending time with Caranthiel over the next few days. Like, whenever he's not, like, actively with one of the parties, something, he's just hanging out, reminiscing, catching up, just talking about, talking about things.
You do so, and you're able to do so without very many prying ears or eyes. It's relaxing, and you can really feel like your bond kind of repairing itself with Caranthiel. You kind of begin to start reaching an understanding of what's happened the past 5 years. You tell her stories about what's been going on. She tells you about everything that's been going on, all the way down to the details of she actually was engaged and promised to be the queen of the Woodland Realm in recent years by Maeglin, which she always kind of shook off as just kind of like it's fine. But she had been engaged for about a year previously, right around the time that he started kind of turning kind of towards more and more towards the shadow. But she tells about her time in the Mirkwood, about her lonely days, but also about the joyous times as well. And she reminisces about all the places that you went together and places that have been basically safe from shadow that she hasn't been able to see, and kind of making connections about each one of those. And it's quite nostalgic to you as you begin to talk. One of the things that she does bring up was the tree. This does pique your memory as the tree that you were able to climb up and kind of find your location, and your guys are able to connect a lot over that as well. She actually even says to you that whenever she felt lonely, especially when she was on her own, she would find her way back to that place, and she would let the wind go through her hair and be able to bask kind of in the sunshine as you did when you were kids. And she always knew that you did something like that when something was weighing heavy on your heart, and that was she understood that what you were doing earlier that morning, and even the alone time that you had, she has an understanding. She knows you deeply about the things that you do to grieve. And so, yeah, it's been a really good time. Is there anything specifically you want to bring up with her before you do part ways?
Caranthiel, I don't know if you or Nornia are really going to be a leader to these elves on your travels, but I've considered sending a letter to my father, and perhaps to even Thranduil's halls. And I'm going to tell them that I was witness to the fall of the wayward elves to the hands of savage Tola within the woods. I was going to report to them what names I do know of elves that have fallen, and perhaps even the names of some who didn't. Perhaps then their hunters will stop pursuing them. I'll tell them of the death of Maeglin, tell them the death of all the others, but I've considered telling them that even members such as Norni passed away. I want you to know that my father, he views you as a daughter. And if you ever need anything, I'm sure you can write to him and he'll get you anything that you should need.
And that means the world to me, Feanor. Being away from home, being away from family for so long, I forgot what it felt like to mean something to someone. Yes, I've been holding on to relationships, I've been holding on to memories of people that I knew, people that I love. It kept me through, it pulled me through. The shadow is growing, and I can sense it. We've experienced our fair share of, in our short time together, sadness and despair and loss.
Wasn't how I wanted our reunion to be.
Yet at the same time, how our departure felt, it just felt natural to pick it up in such a way. Feels a little bit, well, not sweet, it's bitter. And my friend, she looks down, kind of casts a little bit, and then like focuses heavily on you and in your eyes. My friend, I want you to know whether or not I'm able to return one day. No home is truly home without you there. And Feanor, I wish you all the best. You are going to make an impact on this world. On this here Middle Earth, all of you are. I've seen bravery. I've seen strength, physical and mental. And I've also seen love. I've seen the love that you share with each one of your companions. It's a love. It's a love that I feel for you. All this time. Feanor, promise me you'll make your way home one day. Wherever that may be. I'll be there waiting for you.
Well, I don't think that's going to be too hard, considering you're my home too.
She smiled.
As much as you have your family, and I wish them all the best. This is my family here as well. And you and your kin will be welcome anywhere that
You inspire in so many ways. I've seen your leadership. I've seen how you've grown in 5 years. And I just hope that this time apart from you, this time with my family, I can grow as well. You've seen the world. I'll see the world, too. And Feanor, I promise you this. I will be there for you whenever you need it. At least for the short term, you'll know where I am. I might not know where you are, Fate has a way. Fate has a way of uniting people together. I'll be there for you. In your darkest hour. I promise I'll be there for you.
On the like last day, just before like I'm not sure if there's anything else that we're role playing, but as we are all going to depart, Feanor is going to have attempted to have carved a little, almost like a handle for like a knife, perhaps even on one on the knife that he carries, like his standard knife,
Mm-hmm.
carved into it like a new handle for it, like a deer one, and he wants to give that to
She takes
with
it
his
very
like
gladly.
with his little initials like scratched into it, stuff as well.
She takes it very gladly, and she thanks you. And likewise, you guys are out in the meadow as you begin to depart, and the wagons and everything are all set. Dindy, Iguar, the rest of the crew, they are already very packed. Well, actually, very empty carts. Pretty much provisions for the journey. Dressed to the nine, all their armor, all their travel goods, and they're ready to go. Have their ponies attached to the cart, and she, with the host of elves, she bends down and she picks up a flower. It's a white lily. She holds it in her hand, and immediately the flower becomes consumed in the elf fire, but instead of burning, it preserves. She picks it out of her hand, and it almost has kind of this lustrous glow, and there's a feeling about it. And she gives it to you. Feanor, I want you to know that even in the darkness that you might face ahead, remember that the world is beautiful. Remember that you are trying to preserve life here. Don't give up hope. This flower, it will remain as long as your spirit does. And such is the way of elf magic. Do not fret. Do not fret. And she leans
Remember the
over and
words
she
I-
gives you like a really like big like tight hug.
He hugs back. Stay safe on the road. Keep your friends close. I haven't traveled out that way myself, so I can't offer you any advice, but I know Valin's been talking to you about the paths to take.
I feel confident. At least on the paths. We have guides. I'm going to see Elrond. Lord Elrond. Maybe the next time we see each other, I'll be a master healer like Valineth.
You've always got you've had the potential. You've always had the heart for it. Show him what a wood elf can do.
She nods. She looks over to you, Valineth, too. And she holds out her hand. Do you take it?
And Valineth grasps it. Yeah, he grasps
She
it.
grabs it kind of almost similar to how Jess grasps hands, but she just takes one of your hands and she puts her hand on top. And she says, "Thank you, Valineth. It has been one of the great joys in my short life here on Middle-earth to have come to know you. One is wise, one is witty, and one is kind as you."
Valineth smiles at her and says, "Oh. That is reciprocated as well, my friend. Though being young in years, you have a lot to live for, and you have a lot of good things and good deeds to do, and a lot of good healing to do here on this Middle-earth. I'm happy to have met you, and I'm sure Lord Elrond is going to be nothing but thankful and happy with his new apprentice in Rivendell."
I'm still so nervous. You have no idea. But I want you to remember, Valineth, what I taught you. And she leans close to you and says, do you remember that night? Do you remember that night with Belgo? Out in the woods where Belgo couldn't sleep. Terrorized by nightmares, terrorized by the dark.
Yes, I do. Of course. It's a spot of hope on that journey.
Indeed. You know the song that Feanor sang. It's an old wood elf ballad. They say it has healing properties. All you need to do is just be present. Valineth. If ever anybody needs healing of the spirit and healing of the mind, just sing them that song. Someone of your skill and tact with medicine, I will say, this simple song will have the ability to staunch any wound. Sing it before they sleep. They will have sweet dreams. And you will find that whatever ails them physically will be healed in the morning.
Valna smiles. Ah, yes. That song was quite beautiful. I had never heard it before, however. This is the magic I can get behind. Thank you. Thank you, Corinthiel. And you as well. Good luck in your endeavors. Keep watch over your compatriots over there. And you know what? Maybe even teach that to Lord Elrond. I don't know if he knows of such things, but that's quite beautiful. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Rely on your friends, as I will mine. You have learned Healer's Staunching Song.
Sick. And I think I read that earlier, but basically, I sing it before short rest, and everyone or 3 people up to my level are able to roll a hit dice plus your con, and it doesn't use any of your hit dice, so it's basically a free hit dice that you can roll. So pretty cool.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. And Theodric, she makes her way over to you. And you, my friend. I know our time, well, we haven't maybe spent as much time together as I have with Feanor or Valineth. But you, for being so young, I can sense strength within you. Theodric, know in my heart how sorry I am for what you went through. But do know, while perhaps our meeting was in not the brightest circumstance, the fact that you are at least a part of my life, well, there's good that can come out of darkness, I think. As long as we have eyes to see it. We have the power. You have the power. To turn the darkness that creeps into your heart, that besets your friends. And you have a way, and you will have a way, to turn it to light. Don't despair. So many rely upon you. Thank you for the lessons that you've taught me. Thank you for your kindness. Most importantly, thank you for your forgiveness, though I do not deserve it, though none of us deserve it.
Thank you, Caranthiel, for your kind words, and I thank you for being one of the sole bright spots in a very, very dark time. Um, you say you don't deserve my forgiveness, but you never needed it. You, of all people, never needed any of my forgiveness, for you did nothing wrong. I wish you good fortune and hope that you and your friends find what you're looking for.
And may the stars guide you in the right path. Do not despair, as there is always light even in the dark. And she looks up at the sky. It's clearly the sun is up. But you know what she's referring to. I hope to meet many more like you on my travels. For it is those like you that give me hope for a free Middle Earth, free of darkness and free of shadow.
Well, here's hoping.
Here's to hoping. And she turns to you, Jess. Now you. Never did I expect, after such hardship and pain, to make a friend when it came to the end of it. You never cease to amaze me, Jess. In the short time that I've known you, the hope that you bring to those that are around you, it's inspiring. I think I can learn a thing or two from the kindness of hobbits, but more particular, the kindness of Jessamine.
I'd just like to take a moment here, and like hold her hands in mine, in like a very familiar gesture.
Oh, she's very familiar with this.
Very familiar. Yes. Okay. So, what was I gonna say? Caranthiel, I can tell you've been through so much, but you're still here. I think it's only fair of you to know that the first step to being kind to others is being kind to ourselves. And she looks him like in the eye as best she can and just says, "You're doing great."
I hope so. I do hope so.
You are. You're doing great. You have great things ahead of you.
I've known you for just a few days, Jessamine. I'm going to miss you.
I'll give her a hug.
And she hugs back. She's kneeling, so it's kind of like the full hug.
Yeah.
And she
Jess gives amazing hugs.
Yeah. She leans in and she whispers in your ear, "Be good to the boys. Don't use too much lemon juice."
I don't know how to interact with boys very much. I grew up. I have 4 sisters. Please help me.
In the words of a wise hobbit, you are doing great. You are doing fine.
Yes, I am very wise.
They are, well, at least one of them that I know for sure, maybe a little prickly around the edges, but they're kind. You can rely on them. And with that,
She'll just like give an extra little squeeze in the hug.
and with
Like
that,
her.
she stands up and she looks kind of one long look, and Dindy says, "All right, everyone. Well, to the Shire it is then. First stop is going to be the Misty Mountains. After that, we will let some of our visitors depart at Rivendell. It should only be a few months, and do expect, Dodie, do expect that I will be writing to you. I will be returning by the end of the summer. And to all of you," and he mentions to the party, I do hope to be able to make your acquaintance again here at the Easterly Inn. Well, the furthest east homely house of the hobbits. Well, that's our plan, to make it that way. And Doty, he says, yes. Yes, it is our plan to make it that way. In fact, I'm going to miss all of you so dearly. And the wagon begins to depart. Do make sure to write. You guys are all
Yeah,
still
very
here.
quickly.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly. Can Jess have given a letter to Dindy to give to her sister?
Absolutely.
sisters?
100%.
Her sisters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I was going to say two other things.
Yes.
Feanor was basically get Valineth to write him up a note. That's basically the one that he wants to give to Taladir, but it's addressed to King Bard. About like the discussion they had and potentially, like if he ever does find his way in Dale, he can approach King Bard and I'll have vouched for him essentially. And I also want to give Nornir one of my hand axes.
Oh, perfect. They
One of the ones that I made. So
they take this very graciously, and especially from Nornir, he takes a look at this and says, I will keep this by my side always. And he, for the first time, reveals his face. Still cloak or the hood draped over his face so no one else can see, but you're able to see a very beautiful face, but a severely scarred mouth. You are one of the few that I can consider friends. They're hard to come by these days, especially those that you can trust. You can trust me. You're building those. You're finding those to fight against the shadow. You have my bow, and I have your axe. I will be there for you, my friend, if you ever need any assistance. You know where to find me. You know where to contact me, at least for the short term.
good luck on the road, brother.
And you too, my brother.
Do the big grip forearm shake.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna let them go on their ways.
And as they do go, Baldur and Belgo, they have gotten your carts together of all of your goods and all of your stuff. Everything has been accounted for as you are basically practically all ready to depart as well.
Wait, no, the pins for the wheels! I've still got them in my pocket!
Theodric gets Baradarok as well, and everything is good in the world. And Feanor, out of the corner of your eye, you can see a flash of white as Nim in the forest, in the woods. He is by your side as well. You turn back to bid farewell to Doty, but I'm going to have Theodric, Valineth, and Feanor. I'm going to have the three of you make perception checks for me.
Oh, come on. No! Oh, I only got a 7. Oh, wait, I can roll twice.
Natural 20 for 23.
19 for Valineth.
19, thanks to the beauty of the King's Cup.
All of you, but first to notice is Feanor. As you begin to depart, you realize that the company isn't quite as stinky as you thought, and you look around and you realize that you don't see Rufus with you. You turn back and you see that he is sitting beside Doty. And right next to him is Shadrach.
They're stealing our dog. Wait.
Well, he wasn't really our dog. He was more Jalen's dog.
He was more Jalen's dog.
I guess he was a stray.
He'll be safe here, I suppose. And
Well, he's with a flying, talking dog, so I'm sure that
it doesn't fly.
Not that you know.
Anyway, he'll be safe here and happy.
Yeah, we'll come back and visit. Give him some pats, treats. Maybe, hopefully, he can learn a thing or two from Shadrach. Quite an impressive species,
If we come
I'd
back
have
and
to say.
he's walking around on 2 legs, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, I think that's when we can be sure that we've passed on into the afterlife.
As you
I'm willing to accept that there is one magical dog, but if Rufus becomes a magical dog, that's it. That's it. There's nothing else on Middle Earth that anyone can accomplish that is a greater feat than that.
Are you seriously leaving Jalen's dog here?
with
Yes.
this,
Well,
with
maybe we'll
this,
come
Shame.
back.
Shame
you
on all
know.
of you. Shame on all
this-
three
We
of
are
you.
not taking the 4 HP like ankle weight with us. Like,
Shame.
I'm not spending the rest of this campaign protecting a 4 HP dog.
with this being the case, and hearing this conversation between you, conversation in jest, maybe some seriousness, Belgo is brought to the attention that Rufus is not with you, and he turns back and says, "Come here, Rufus! Come here, boy! We're leaving!" And Rufus, he stands up and like begins to walk forward a bit, and he looks back, and Dodie laughs. Well, you do belong to them, don't you? And Rufus, he kind of stops for a moment and like looks at like your caravan as you begin kind of walking away. At this point, across the stone bridge, and he stops and he sits and he looks back at Shadrach, and Shadrach, he does this, and you hear kind of a small woo woo woo. And Rufus kind of starts walking out towards the group. He lets out a large howl. And as you look back, you can see that he wags his tail and he walks around in a circle, and he goes sprinting back joyfully to the side of Shadrach. And with that, you depart for your final destination of this adventure to Woodland Hall. And we're going to end our session there.
I can't believe
Down
you did
another
it.
party member. God damn it.
It's
I can't believe you've done this.
I can. We are not taking the ankle weight with
Look,
us.
he would just
You know,
die.
wouldn't
At least
take
this
He
way
would've
can-
just
an ankle
stayed.
weight in the form of a very cute, lovable dog.
Let
with
me
four
guess,
HP.
Jalen, but she's
4
dead,
HP.
so we don't have to worry about that.
Adventures in Middle Earth takes place over long periods of time. Things are bound to change. I'm sure we'll come back and we'll see him in the
How
future.
Flying.
This is profound betrayal.
Yeah, flying. He'll have
Why
magical
can he
powers.
shoot
which is
He'll learn to
lasers?
pick up a strong breeze, and his hairs will go.
Jalen
And he'll
left
start.
her dog in your
What's
care
that- what's
and
that
And
on
we
his
left him
paw?
somewhere
Him at
safe.
First opportunity.
We left him
What's that on
somewhere
his paw?
safe,
Is that a
Disgusting.
ring?
where he will
What?
be well cared for and loved.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I will say this. I did actually rule for him.
Hey,
This was his choice.
See?
As
so
far
he
as the
didn't
dice
wanna
rolls are.
be with us.
That's
He
still
didn't
Okay,
want to
that's
be
safe
with
there.
us.
I am still allowed
like-
to be mad about
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
He's like,
I totally
my
get that."
owner's dead, and they killed her. Why would I want to stay with them?
we
do anything.
didn't do anything.
Jalen died.
I know.
If anything, Jalen killed herself.
With all craziness
That's-
aside and
Hang on.
all sad goodbyes, let's go ahead and jump into some thoughts about today's session. We're going to go ahead and start with Valinith today, and then make our way across to Feanor.
Yeah, it was really good. I liked the wrap up of that. I think it ended up really well. I liked how you tied in, well, at least a few of our new skills and traits that we had learned by achieving level 3 into that, especially that story. I'm still, Valinith is waiting for his moment to encounter Gandalf because, you know, it's a dream come true. You guys are so lucky who have encountered him. Anyways.
In dreams,
all
have they come
that-
true?
True. But no, I mean, ultimately, it was a really fun session. I think there were some, again, funny moments, some really good role play. I enjoyed the spar.
That was something I
fun,
didn't
and that was
expect. I would
kinda
have drawn
cool
a
to
battle
see.
map up if I knew that, but that was super cool. I really enjoyed that, actually. Good job, guys.
Honestly,
was- it was
that's
cool to
that's on you
see-
for not expecting the unexpected.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
When I've already done multiple spars against different people to check their worthiness.
Yeah.
I will tell you
Like,
this.
it's
This is not out of character at all.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Crap.
That is true.
No. Were they in the woods?
Sorry.
Yeah. That's what distracted Jess.
Yeah. But no, it was really good. I really enjoyed the session. I'm gonna miss Shadrach and Rufus, I guess. And it's good. It's good. I don't know why people don't like Dodie. Dodie's great. He's awesome.
Bilbo Baggins. He'll tell you all about him. Or you could just read the book. There's a book about him, by the way,
Yeah.
if you didn't know. And there's a couple movies.
It's like, yeah, there's 3 movies.
Yeah. And more if you consider his Gollum phase where he's trying to... Sorry.
Jump scaring his nephew.
Jump scaring his nephew. Well, great. Thanks for your thoughts. Let's go ahead and move on to Theodric. Your thoughts on tonight's session.
Tonight's session was good. I feel like there was a lot of closure, a lot of like wrapping up, essentially this arc, I guess we could call it. A lot of closure for the Wayward Elves, for the rest of us. A lot of closure for I get Theodric with coming to terms with Jalen's death and everything. Interesting seeing Fëanor mulling everything over and trying to figure out, I guess, his place in the world and how monumental his self-given task is. Yeah, it was a good session. It was a very good session.
It was fun stuff. I
Yeah.
agree with that. And like a lot of these things that happen, like obviously I have certain things planned for each session, but a lot of this is surprise to me too. So the way that you guys come into sessions prepared, it's not like any of this is like scripted or anything. And so like I have no idea what's going to happen, how you guys are feeling, your characters are feeling certain ways. I can kind of make guesses at that, but it's really fun to be able to see how the choices that your characters make, the moods that you have and everything really begin to shape the narrative and the story around. That's what's so fun about the storytelling aspect of it is, it's not just making it up by the seat of my pants, but it's like tying in everything that I do know of your characters and sometimes actually asking questions about like what's going on here. But yeah, it's a really, really fun time. So thanks to each and every one of you. You always keep me on my toes and you bring some excitement to every session for me too. So good stuff. Next, Jess, tell us about your thoughts for the session.
Yeah, I'm sure most of you have probably already guessed by now, but I'll just come out and say it. Yes, I am playing a rogue. There you go. You can
Treasure
say I told
hunter.
you so.
Treasure Hunter. In Adventures of
Treasure
Middle Earth.
I'll update that.
Yeah, but like mechanically, it's a rogue.
Yeah. Straight up, it's a rogue.
Dress it up as much as you
Yeah,
want.
I'm pretty
play it.
sure it's like one of like the classes that like isn't changed by Adventures of Middle Earth. It's like they just like put like a veneer on it, being like this is the rogue, but no, it's Treasure Hunter. So
They've changed a couple of things. I will say I was reading through. It's
Good.
very fun.
I'm glad you're familiar. I have to refamiliarize myself with some of these
I
classes.
guess I guess they had to change some things because there were like a lot of like lock picking and breaking and entering and stuff is just like straight up evil morally in
coming,
this
don't worry.
system. Okay, well,
I
hope
didn't
you
need the lockpick to break it in her.
No,
Like,
Right,
it
right.
was fine.
So here's the thing. The one thing about Adventures of
I don't
Middle
know,
Earth is
Kyle, no
you can
spoilers, no
100% still do it. You'll gain points of shadow, but you can 100% still do
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. That's why the treasure hunter is different to the rogue, I'd assume, because they're trying to
They don't
discourage
incentivize
or
it.
remind you that hey, actions have a lot of consequences, and you're gonna get a lot of shadow quickly if you act like a D&D rogue.
True.
Like,
Tell
Murder
it to
hobo.
the British. Hashtag the British Museum.
I'm sure they have plenty of points of shadow. They just don't.
I mean, yeah. Did you see Prince Philip before he died? Like, hell yeah, dude had like 80
Oh, now we're
points of
getting
shadow.
it.
We're just taking shots at the whole British Empire. This is great.
Dude,
We're
for
Australian, we're allowed
FYI,
to.
yes, they're Australian. This is kind of, I kind of understand, but at the same time,
Commonwealth.
the America broke away from them. So,
It's funny.
but anyways,
Um,
yes, continue on. Your thoughts.
Yeah, I thought Fëanor's whole thing was like really good and well thought out. Like, yes, that seems like a very accurate reaction. Yep. Fair enough. I've
Just
just
going
read
and laying in some
Akari's
grass.
message in the chat. That's wild. It's funny. how dare you leave Rufus behind? That's unfair. I feel.
It's okay. I'm updating his command.
Uh-oh.
The one nice thing is
okay.
you could be rest assured he ain't gonna be dying. And so
I know, but like
This is the nicest ending he could have gotten.
Jalen's dog though.
Yeah, exactly. And he can be near the woods where she died.
This is the nicest ending for him. Like,
I
I'm sorry, but
really doubt
Any
that.
other ending
3
ends with him
sessions
being
from
a dog,
now, he
like a
could have
rogue.
died.
Like Jess is quietly glad that there's no large dog, but I am devastated.
Yeah, we're
What-
replacing
hey,
what-
if you
what-
ever
what
want
would
to
you-
see Rufus again, come join a lovely stay at the Easterly, and Dodie will be welcoming you with open arms.
What
I'm
is your
I'm
ideal?
I'm definitely leveraging that for like a room next time. Hey, bro, you literally took our dog. Like, I want a free room.
I'm just wondering what your ideal story conclusion for the dog was. Now that his
To be
master's
the
dead.
ultimate warhound.
Okay, you want to hear my whole vision? My vision was like in like 5 years or whatever. Jalen is like, okay. This is
No,
vision, okay?
not what you had thought. I'm not after Jalen's death. What your idea for the dog
After
was?
Jalen's death, I kind of assumed that Feanor would take Rufus because you know he seemed so intent on stealing him in the past.
He's
Well,
got
it was
nutrient-
he only had an interest because Jalen had an interest. He was actively trying to
God.
sabotage her efforts.
He was so rude.
The
I'm
party
just
You-
saying.
all three of you have had it out for
I'm
Rufus
just saying
from
this is the
day
best
one.
case scenario for that dog. He's
He's
getting a lot of
Best case scenario?
bacon. He's got
To be fair,
friends.
look, he was grievously injured, and now he's gone to retirement.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
He
He,
went
he
into
gets
battle.
plates full of turkey bacon.
He went into battled off like a giant spider,
Okay.
and then like did really well in a combat for a 4 HP dog. I'm pretty sure he got like nat 20s, and nothing was hitting him. Like it took forever for something to hurt him. I think he earned his rest.
For now. To come back
We'll
later.
come back. He's like a level 10 warhound or something.
Yeah.
He's got
Oh,
more
like
HP.
80
He's got
HP.
more HP than Baradorok.
Yeah, and then you'll be like, oh, we could have had this on our party, and I'll be like, told you so.
He only gets that if he eats enough turkey bacon. So
Yep.
Mm.
And he
wouldn't
can
have
talk
lived
and
long
fly
enough if
too.
he came with us.
yeah, he
get that
becomes
strong.
Crypto from Superman. He can just fly and shoot lasers and.
Hyperdrive.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Was there something else? I forgot. Yeah. I do appreciate that, like, the instant that Jalen has left, Rock's become a major part of the plot.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Vader's still got that stone in his pocket. He doesn't know what he's
Yeah.
going to use it for.
I mean, it
Valnus
worked
still has
out.
his nuts
I
in
don't
his
know what to
pocket,
say.
so
I was proud of Feanor for his one. He made
Good
his
one.
first pun.
Yeah.
So good, guys. So
That's
good.
good.
See
Yeah,
the growth of
there's
the
a lot of good
players,
stuff.
evolution. And
I was
finally,
highly entertained.
I was too. It was a good session. Finally, Feanor, what were your thoughts about tonight?
I was initially coming into it. Like, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the character interactions and being able to like build up because I build up some depth between like Jess and Feanor.
Mhm.
I 100% was when everyone else was like, we should ask Jess to join our party. Feanor was just gonna be like, hey, like completely oblivious, gonna go, hey, we got on an adventure soon. Do you want to join? Like, and just like very casually ask her, like completely oblivious to everything else. But I didn't come into today thinking about like, oh, yeah, he's gonna be sad or anything like that. It was only like in the moment where I'm like, you know what, like, I'm gonna say he's had a bad night. Like, as much as he's been like, yeah, I'm feeling really hopeful, and you know, I've been doing all this. I've been like, he's basically been running on that high of it's like we got out of there, everyone's like safe. I got everyone to safety.
Mhm.
All my friends, well, most of my friends are alive, but I managed to get them all out. I got Crantiel out. I got even more elves out. I'm making a difference here. And then he goes, oh, am I making a difference? Oh, am I making a difference at all?
Mhm.
And for everyone else, way back when I made Feanor, one of the weaknesses that he has is it's like he thinks that his efforts will never overcome the shadow. Like, despite all of his efforts, he will one day succumb to shadow. But I also made that one of his driving ambitions was to one day grow strong enough to overcome the shadow. So his ambition directly flies in the face of something that he thinks that he will never accomplish. And I liked exploring that, like the idea of him being like, I have an impossible task, like literally, like there's almost a guarantee that this will never be done, but I'm not gonna sit stagnant, as he said.
And
He's gonna
above
keep
game, in the
pushing forward.
grand scheme of things, years later, the War of the Ring starts. And so, like, yes, there's like times of peace, you're fighting Shadow, but the Shadow only continues to grow in Middle Earth. And your characters will feel that to a degree, but your characters still have the agency to even drive back the Shadow, if not for a year, 2 years, 3 years, you know, like, whatever the case. Like, your characters do have agency. And, like, all history, it paves the way for the ultimate redemption and the essential fall of Sauron. Which is, I mean, your character's making an imprint. It's not thousands of years as was brought up, but even, 100 years prior, like people are still fighting against Shadow.
And I do like the decision in the end of, it's like Fëanor trying to help these wayward elves, and it's as much as he was lamenting on nothing I'm doing is changing anything. Like above game, he's already like helped the elves specifically so much, and helped them even when Maeglin was still around, and went back to save them and gave Maeglin that opportunity to die like a heroic death, even if that wasn't really his intention. You know, like he didn't die a horrible evil monster, he died as him. And all these elves have managed to take them, and he's been up to talk to his father and help Belgo and Baldur and even their companions. Like, he is making a difference, and who knows, it might help defeat the darkness at some point. Maybe some of these elves that he saved end up being big figures in like later adventures. But it hits him struggling with, he is young and he doesn't know if it's worth it at all.
Absolutely.
But after his talk with Jess, at the very least, he, as much as her issues weren't the same as his, they could be overcome by the same things, by continuing 100%. To move forward.
100%. Yeah, it was a good time. Honestly, this session, kind of as was mentioned, like, was a very good wrap-up of a lot of storylines, as I think the end of any character arc should be, or any party arc. And yeah, I'm excited to see going forward, like how you guys are going to deal with some of the extra stuff that happens during the Fellowship phase, during the next adventure. FYI, I know everybody has done so already, but it is a level up. The officially now, the Fellowship phase has started. And yeah, it's good stuff. I'm very excited to be able to go on future adventures with you to see how, as the Shadow continues to grow or not, how you're going to stand in the face of that. New adventures and all. So without further ado, we have a few things. So we got some streams going on this week. Dain, what are your stream times that are happening?
Yep, so I'll be streaming today, American time. It's tomorrow, I believe, for the eastern side of the world. But I'll be streaming Wednesday and Thursday on Mountain Time. I'll be streaming today. We're finishing Tears of the Kingdom, so we're gonna be fighting Ganondorf. We're gonna be doing all that cool stuff. So we're gonna be finishing that up tomorrow. At the same time again, 2 p.m. Mountain Time. We will be doing Octopath Traveler 2. We're gonna be starting a new game, which will be really, really fun. Friday we have our Friday my time, Saturday
morning
for the eastern side of the world. We're going to be doing Everlast Adventures, which is our or Kyle's invention. It's his tabletop RPG that he's created, and we're going to be doing session 25 of that, which should be really good. It's going to be a 6th session, by the way, so
yeah. It's
going to be a good one. So come join us for that. That should be a great time. Ikari is expecting to join us, so that will be great. So we'll have someone playing Thordain, which is going to be nice. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be starting my new kind of series that I'm going to be doing, which is like challenge community games. And we're going to be starting with Let's Go Eevee, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and we're going to be doing Nuzlocke with it. So we're going to be doing a bunch of like interaction things. So we're going to be doing like every time a new Pokemon's caught, we're going to be playing marbles in order to decide who gets named the Pokemon named after. Like, it's going to be more interactive than just a normal challenge run. So we're going to be doing that for the time being, which will be really fun. So that's what we have planned for Saturday. And then, of course, we have our wonderful sponsor, Dai Snacky.
They're a Japanese sweets and luxury treats company based in Tokyo, Japan. They sell an assortment of Japanese goodies, from popular Japanese goods in their omakase box, and their omakase looks traditional Japanese goods, and even character goods in their kawaii box. Right now they have a summer box for sale. It is essentially an omatsuri festival season summer box that comes with ramune drinks. It comes with an assortment of dagashi, which are like Japanese, like suburb kids candy snacks, and like a little carrying bag that comes with it for all of your fun summer needs and desires, kind of like a little beach bag, I think. And
I bought one. I can't wait for it to
it's
come
coming.
in. So,
It's on the way.
yeah.
You're gonna have to post to see what it all looks like, because I'm
I'm
looking forward
super
to that.
pumped. Me too.
But additionally, if you do order from them, say that Fantasy Forge sent you, it helps us out, and then you put your Twitch name, as you will get raffle tickets towards that when we do reach our referral limit. And when that happens, we'll let you know. But without further ado, that should be tonight's session. Thank you all for hanging around. This was a really good one. Can't wait for next week. It's going to be amazing next Wednesday. I guess, yeah, Wednesday for everyone at this point. But yeah, until then, may the road go ever onward and onward. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.